Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Welcome dear devotees once again to the 42nd session on Śrī-Upadeśāmṛtam. We are currently on verse number 8, and it's important that all of us, especially those of us who have attended till now, know some facts before we continue. The 8th verse onwards is dedicated to Abhidheya, that is the practice of Bhakti. And Srila Rupa Goswami is specifically speaking about one type of Bhakti, which is Raganuga Bhakti. And it is extremely difficult to find candidates who are qualified for such type of a Bhakti. But still, I am explaining so that all of us at least have a theoretical idea of what Raganuga Bhakti is, and all of us can at least try to aspire for it. Because such a Bhakti cannot be mass produced. It cannot be given to anyone and everyone, dear devotees. But still, since we are studying Śrī-Upadeśāmṛtam, and it is the first book which is recommended to a serious practitioner, therefore, dear devotees, whatever topics are mentioned in Śrī-Upadeśāmṛtam, these topics will be discussed and will be discussed without any hesitation. So, I am sharing my screen. This is Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamritam, a detailed study. We have given a lot of time to each and every verse. The reason being that we want to study in great detail, understand the verses, and thus be able to enter into the depths of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. In verse 8, we are going to touch the core of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, which is a specific type of bhajan known as Raganuga bhajan. Dear devotees, before we move ahead, I would like to offer Shanti Path, or a mantra from the Upanishads, in order to ensure that there is auspiciousness for the teacher as well as the student. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishravahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om is the original syllable of the universe. Sahana Bhavatu, may Bhagavan protect both of us, the teacher who also needs protection, as well as the student. Sahana Bhunaktu, may Bhagavan bestow the highest fruit of the study upon both of us. Sahaviryam Karvavahi, may both of us attain the strength to realize the highest truth. Tejasvi Nav Adhitamastu, may our study shine forth brilliantly. Ma Vidvishravahai, may we never envy each other. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May Shanti, everlasting peace, pervade the three worlds. Dear devotees, it's also essential to glorify the author of Śrī-Upadeśāmṛtam, Sri Rupa Goswami. And this is a verse which has been composed for Srila Rupa Goswami using only two consonants, Ra and Pa, which are the two consonants in the name Rupa. Purupara para rupam, papare purapaprapam, puraripo rapiparam, raparupa paramparam. Glorify this parampara of Sri Rupa Goswami, which resembles a vast devotional ocean, which is like a fresh water supply that refreshes the life airs of Sri Krishna, the destroyer of all sinful reactions, and which is worshipable even for Sri Shiva, the enemy of Tripurasura. Dear devotees, we are studying the 8th verse. Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtananu smrityaho kramena rasana vanasi niyojya tishthan vraje tadunuragi jananugami kalam nayet akhilam iti upadesha saram. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
While residing in Vraja, a devout follower of those individuals who are attached to Vraja should spend one's entire time by investing one's tongue and mind, respectively, in joyous kirtan and repeated smarna of the name, form, character, and so on of Krishna and his associates. This indeed is the essence of all instruction.
Wonderful. So, this is the essence of all instructions. Why is this the essence? And why is the 11th verse not the essence? Because this verse will determine which sadhaka qualifies and which sadhaka does not qualify for attaining the highest goal of Gaudiya Vaishnava. Therefore, from the sadhaka's point of view, from the practitioner's point of view, this is the highest instruction. After this, the highest goal will be glorified. The remaining 3 verses will be in glorification of Sri Radha Kund. It has little to do with the practice of the sadhaka. But this is what is most important for the practice of the sadhaka. And therefore, this is the essence of all instructions. The remaining 3 verses will just give a very short instruction on where one should live and why that particular place, Sri Radha Kund, is the highest place for a sadhaka, a Rupanuga devotee to stay. But as far as other devotional practices are concerned, this is the topmost essential instruction. While residing in Vraja, a devout follower of individuals attached to Vraja should spend one's entire time by investing one's tongue and mind, respectively, in joyous kirtan and repeated smaran of the name, form, character, etc. of Krishna and his associates. This indeed is the essence of all instructions. So what should a devotee who is qualified for Raganuga Bhakti do? First and foremost, while residing in Vraja, Tishthan Vraje. So they should reside in Vraja. Now, residence in Vraja is also mental as well as physical. But any devout follower of those Raganuga Bhaktas who are attached to Vraja, so one should oneself become a devout follower of those Raganuga Bhaktas. And what should one do? One should spend one's entire time without wasting even a fraction of time. One should spend one's entire time by investing 2 senses. And the 2 most important senses required for Raganuga Bhakti are tongue and mind. The entire process of Raganuga Bhakti will mainly be carried out using these 2 senses. So, the tongue and the mind, they have to be engaged respectively, kramena. The tongue has to be engaged in sukirtana, in joyous kirtan, and the mind has to be invested in anusmrityaho, in repeated smaran. Of what? Of tannama rupa charitadi, of the name, form, character, etc. of Tat, of Krishna and his associates. Iti Upadeshamritam. This indeed is the essence of all instructions. Now, for quite a few of us, it may not immediately sound very relevant. What will I do staying in Vraja 24 hours, performing only chanting and remembrance? Am I not supposed to go out and preach? Of course, we are supposed to go out and preach. But ultimately, each and every Gaudiya Vaishnava who wishes to attain the supreme goal of Gaudiya Vaishnavism should first and foremost, primarily, learn how to perform bhajan or one's private solitary devotional service, which is dedicated to attaining Raganuga Bhakti. Dear devotees, it's not easy to reach this point. Often devotees take decades to reach the point where they can understand that Raganuga Bhakti is the final process to be followed in order to attain Sri Krishna Prema. Initially, in the first stage, maybe around the first few years of devotional service, a new devotee, the complete newcomer, is ignorant of the goal. The new devotee comes to the temple, meets a few devotees. The process is such that it immediately gives him happiness. He feels blissful by taking prasad, by meeting the devotees, by learning about the basics of the philosophy. And then in this stage, he or she thinks that this is it. I attained the highest goal in my life. And spends a few years like this without having proper knowledge of the goal. What is the goal of the Hare Krishna movement? So many do not understand, many do not realize. Those who are not so fortunate will remain on this stage and will have to progress in their next lives from this stage onwards. Those who are more fortunate will move to the next stage. After a few years, they start understanding that the process has some rules and regulations. You have to take initiation from a guru. You should have a group of devotees. So they start becoming aligned with a particular group, a particular guru, etc. And after they become aligned with a guru, aligned with a group, they feel, wow, this is it. Now I have attained perfection. Now that's it. I got my guru, I got my group, and now together we all will go back home, back to Godhead. So in this way, the devotee thinks that alignment with a particular group or a particular guru is perfection. Now there's nothing much to do. I just need to follow my daily process of chanting my japa and following my regulations, and I will automatically go back home, back to Godhead. Many devotees will remain stuck on this stage. If one is fortunate, they will come to the third stage, where they will ask themselves, why is it that my experience of devotional happiness is not tangible? Why am I not making tangible progress where I can have an experience of happiness in bhakti? Why am I still stuck with the happiness of a newcomer? The happiness of simply taking some prasad in a group and clicking a few photographs every Sunday and putting them on Facebook and declaring to the world that, see, I'm happy. So why is it that I am not feeling the happiness that is described in the books? Why is my life so strikingly different from the ideal that is described in the books? If a devotee is fortunate, the devotee becomes dissatisfied with their advancement. This leads to broadening of vision. Maybe I should also explore outside my limited group. Maybe I should take shelter of the tradition, go deeper into the tradition, understand Shastra as the tradition has explained it. Few devotees are able to come to this stage. But because of insufficient guidance, many devotees will remain stuck here. Now, if one is even more fortunate, they attain a Shiksha or Diksha Guru who very clearly tells them that the final goal of life is to not go back to Godhead, but the final goal is to attain Sri Krishna Prema. Then this devotee's vision broadens further. It's not about his or her personal happiness, personal happiness is a side effect of Krishna Prema. It's about giving oneself to Sri Krishna, causelessly, unconditionally. Now the devotee understands that actually Gaudiya Vaishnavism is a very deep path, and the devotee decides to walk on the correct path. Dear devotees, after a few years of trying to understand the path through a bona fide Shiksha or Diksha Guru, then the devotee comes to know that finally actually it was Raganuga Bhakti which will help one to attain Goloka Vrindavan. And without this type of bhakti, it is impossible to attain Goloka Vrindavan. No matter how many sweet candies of assurance we are fed, the final mature understanding is that it is impossible to attain Goloka Vrindavan without practicing a very specific type of bhakti, which is bhakti in the mood of the existing Vrajavasi associates of Sri Krishna. I had explained this last time. And at this stage, if a devotee manages to reach within this lifetime, consider the devotee to be very fortunate. Dear devotees, consider them to be very fortunate. Because there will be many who will give excuses for every stage. I just joined the movement, my life is perfect. I got a guru, my life is perfect. I understand that there are many other, Shiksha authorities, my life is perfect. Dear devotees, many will give excuses for justifying their current stage of advancement. It is only a devotee who has an unconventional thought process who will understand what is the actual final core of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Others will simply keep giving some excuse, and on the pretext of giving an excuse, their own advancement will be hampered. So dear devotees, please take the subject matter very seriously. We have to reach a stage in our life where we know that attainment of Raganuga Bhakti is the choicest process, and by attaining this process, we will be able to attain the choicest goal, dear devotees. If one comes to this understanding, all glories to you, because you have touched the heart of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam, what was dearmost to the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have touched it. Dear devotees, now you are welcome to understand and explore more. But be very careful and be sober. Be patient. Take your time to understand the process. Now you are dhanya. Your life is fulfilled. Now that you understand the process to be followed, please do not worry. Bhagavan will preserve your advancement, even if you do not make it in this life. Bhagavan will preserve your advancement, and you will begin from this point onwards. You will advance to this point onwards very soon in your next life, even if you do not attain Prema in this life. But you are very, very fortunate to have come to this understanding. Dear devotees, Sri Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has dealt with one and only one subject matter, Uttama Bhakti, the most pristine and highest type of Bhakti. Sri Rupa Goswami says that this Bhakti is executed in 3 stages. What are the 3 stages? First is Sadhana Bhakti, that is Bhakti in practice. The second is Bhava Bhakti, when the result of Sadhana Bhakti starts manifesting to a certain degree. And third is Prema Bhakti, when the full result of Sadhana Bhakti finally manifests. So Sadhana Bhakti is Bhakti in practice. Bhava Bhakti is between practice and perfection. It is when the results of perfection start showing. And Prema Bhakti is the perfection to be attained. Dear devotees, this is what it is. Sadhana Bhakti is of 2 types. Vaidhi Bhakti. Bhakti by following the strictures of scriptures. Let's just put it that way. Bhakti by following the rules and regulations of Shastra. This is Vaidhi Bhakti. And the second is Raganuga Bhakti. This is also Sadhan Bhakti, Bhakti in practice. Many individuals have a misconception that Raganuga Bhakti is only for the perfected. No. Raganuga Bhakti is also a division of Sadhan Bhakti. It is all Sadhan means Bhakti in practice. So these two are subdivisions of Sadhan Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti, I had explained last time, in which one tries to emulate the mood of an eternal Vrajavasi, is of two types. What are the two types? First is called Kamanuga. Kamanuga means in the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan, giving pleasure to Sri Krishna. That is called Kamanuga. And the second is Sambandhanuga, in the mood of other relatives such as parents, friends, servants, etc. These are two types of Raganuga. This bhakti is only found in the residents of Vraja, dear devotees. So Kamanuga is bhakti exhibited by the gopis, and Sambandhanuga is bhakti exhibited by the other relatives of Sri Krishna, parents, friends, servants, etc. This is Sadhan Bhakti. Then comes Bhava Bhakti. By gradually performing one sadhana, one may attain the first trace of Prema. The first trace of Prema is called Bhav. But this Bhav can also be automatically attained by Krishna Anugraha, by mercy of Krishna. In rare cases, this happens. When this happens, this Bhav is called Krishna Anugrahaja, born out of the mercy of Krishna. But the general case is Sadhana Abhiniveshaja. By repeated sadhana, by investing oneself in sadhana, Bhav is produced. Two types of sadhana, Vaidhi sadhana, Raganuga sadhana. So Bhav also is according to these two types of sadhana. Finally, the devotee attains the mature fruit of sadhana bhakti, that is Prema. This Prema is also of two main types, Hari Prasadotha, which means by Hari's Prasad, by Krishna's mercy, or Bhavotha, by Bhava, through one sadhana. And which are the two types of sadhana? Vaidhi sadhana and Raganuga sadhana. So through Vaidhi Bhava and Raganuga Bhava. Vaidhi Bhava is of a different category. It will lead to a different attainment. Raganuga Bhava is of a different category. It will lead to Goloka Vrindavan, dear devotees. This is the sum and substance of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. If we understand this, we have understood the framework of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is what it is all about. So we execute Sadhan Bhakti. And Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, which variety of Sadhan Bhakti does Rupa Goswami expect us to execute?
Raganuga sadhana.
Wonderful. So through this Raganuga sadhana, one can attain Bhava. And sadhana abhiniveshaja, through excessive investment in sadhana, such sadhana, one attains Raganuga sadhana Bhava. And through that, one attains Raganuga Bhava Uttha Prema, which means Prema which is born from Raganuga Bhava. And their attainment is Goloka Vrindavan. Dear devotees, this is the path we have to follow. That Sri Rupa Goswami has shown. Other paths are also described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We can happily follow the other paths. We can follow only Vaidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana. But the attainment will be different. Those who wish to attain Goloka Vrindavan, it is important to follow a specific type of sadhana, that is Raganuga sadhana. It is not possible to attain Goloka Vrindavan through Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. This is the conclusion of all previous acharyas, dear devotees. Now, as I said, sadhana bhakti is of two types, Vaidhi and Raganuga, and the focus of this verse is on Raganuga bhakti. So, dear devotees, first and foremost, we should know that most devotees are unqualified for Raganuga Bhakti because they don't have the proper attitude and mindset for it. Most devotees are qualified for Vaidhi Bhakti. What is Vaidhi Bhakti? So, Sri Rupa Goswami explains what is Vaidhi Bhakti in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is a verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Yatra ragana vaptatvat pravrittirupajayate shasanenaiva shastrasya savaidhi bhaktiruchyate. Yatra raga anavaptatvat. Due to lack of raga. What is raga? The innate attachment for Krishna that Vrajavasis have. Due to lack of such innate attachment. Yatra pravritti rupajayate. An individual's proclivity for bhakti arises how? Shasanen eva shastrasya. Exclusively eva through shastra shasan, through strictures of shastra. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, why should you perform bhakti? Because if you don't perform bhakti, shastra says you will get a negative result. Why should you chant your rounds? Because if you don't chant your rounds, you cannot become free of sinful reactions. And you cannot advance on the path of Krishna. Who says this? Shastra says this. Because Shastra says, this is my only reason for performing bhakti. So when an individual's proclivity for bhakti arises only due to shasan, due to the strictures of Shastra, sa vaidhi bhakti ruchyate. Bhakti performed with such a proclivity becomes known as vaidhi bhakti. In this bhakti, there is no question of even having a little bit of hankering for developing that mood of the Vrajavasis. No. I cannot take that risk. Oh, it's very high. Oh, it's not for me. No, Prabhu, don't try to jump ahead. All these reasons will be given to you. Please understand. Srila Rupa Goswami has made it very clear. All these excuses, oh, it's very high. Oh, it's not for you. Oh, not in this life. Oh, we will see after death. Oh, we'll hold on to the dhoti of our guru and then we will see what happens after death. Raga anavaptatvat. Because innate attachment for Krishna has not arisen. Therefore, all these are excuses for this, for lack of innate attachment for Sri Krishna. But once a person has the required seed of attachment for Sri Krishna, then they will be able to see through all of this. They will know that majority of the world cannot perform Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti cannot be mass manufactured in a factory. Vaidhi Bhakti, you can start an institution and have millions of people join it. And you can give them strictures of Shastra and tell them this is what you're supposed to do. And they will happily do it. And then you can say, by doing this, you will go back to Godhead and be free of all miseries forever. And they all want a result. Yes, we want to be free of all miseries. This is their inclination, proclivity for performing bhakti. They have very little, interest in what Krishna wants. What is Krishna's personal happiness or unhappiness? All they want is, I follow one process, input, output, input, output. I will give this much input, I want this output. So this proclivity is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Dear devotees, most of the world is for this bhakti. In this bhakti, there are 64 limbs, 64 angas of bhakti, beginning with Guru Padashraya, taking shelter of a bona fide guru. The guru should be such, either the Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, that they understand the Shastra, they understand also what is Raganuga Bhakti. They are able to guide the disciple according to the level of advancement of the disciple. The highest fruit from the tallest tree cannot be given to each and everyone. If a disciple is not ready for receiving Raganuga Bhakti, they have to be given Vaidhi Bhakti. They cannot be given artificially Raganuga Bhakti. Therefore, the Guru has to test the capability of the disciple before giving an instruction to the disciple. Therefore, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami could have only written about Raganuga Bhakti, but he writes in detail about the 64 limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti. Most of these limbs will also, carry forward in Raganuga Bhakti. They are common to Raganuga Bhakti. Some limbs are not there. But most of these limbs are common to Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. But then the devotee starts following the limbs. What are the limbs? Offering obeisances, wearing a garland of the Lord, eating Mahaprashadam. All these are 64. There are 64 limbs described. So this is Vaidhi Bhakti. Now, a fortunate person. Now, this good fortune is a combination, usually is a combination of devotional piety from previous lives and devotional piety from this life. It causes a person to come in close association with a sadhu mahatma who is aware of the importance and the path of Raganuga Bhakti. When a person comes in contact with such a sadhu, one understands what is the qualification for Raganuga Bhakti. Sri Rupa Goswami explains the qualification in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Ragatmika eka nishthaye vrajavansi janadaya tesham bhavaptaye lubdho bhavedatra Ragatmika Ekanishtaye, Vrajavasi Janadaya, the eternal Vrajavasis who are staying with Sri Krishna eternally, Nanda, Yashoda, Chitrak Patrak, Sudama, Sri Dama, Sri Radha, etc. They are Ragatmika Ekanishta. They are exclusively dedicated to Ragatmika Bhakti. In the previous session, I had explained what is Ragatmika. Their life and soul is Raga, attachment, natural innate attachment to Sri Krishna. Tesham bhava aptaye lubdho. Now a sadhak who is lubdha, who has lobha, intense natural eagerness to attain such a mode, is bhavet atra adhikaravan. He is the adhikari. He is eligible for practicing Raganuga Bhakti. Dear devotees, I have highlighted in red color lubdho. Lubdho means somebody who has lobha. Dear devotees, this lobha cannot be produced by any artificial mechanical process. People will come and say, Prabhu, how will I get this lobha? Please tell me something. Nothing can be said. Either you will have it or you will not have it. It's a combination of various factors from previous life and current life, from previous lives and current life. Sometimes it can also happen in the current life. All of the devotional piety can also come in the same life. But unless and until one develops lobha, an intense eagerness to attain the mood of one of the Vrajavasis, one is not eligible for Raganuga Bhakti. This is very clear, dear devotees. If one is not eligible, one will keep asking questions like, what is the relevance of following Vrajavasi? Why not just chant and, spend your days in chanting the Naam? And then many excuses will be given. All these are excuses for not having lobha, the central factor. And lobha is something which cannot be artificially produced. Either somebody has it by good association or somebody doesn't have it. Somebody who doesn't have lobha, they automatically fall back to one type of bhakti. Which type of bhakti is the fallback option for those who don't have lobha? Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu.
Vaidhi Bhakti.
Vaidhi Bhakti. So if you don't have lobha, no problem. Bhakti is still there for you, but not this variety of bhakti. Sometimes we have that competitive spirit in mind. Oh, this is the highest and I want it and I must get it. Yes, but we will only get it if we have the proper devotional piety, proper sadhu sangha, and the proper attitude to understand and receive it. Otherwise, it will not be possible. I am repeatedly speaking this so that devotees become serious about understanding that Raganuga Bhakti is not everybody's cup of tea. Therefore, it is important that one should hear. I had discussed many dashas in the previous talk, Shravan Dasha, Varana Dasha, I had discussed. Shravan or hearing has to come from such a devotee. You have to get infected. Infected is a negative term, but I am still using it here in a positive context. You have to get infected by the power of an existing Raganuga. Sri Rupa Goswami says, Tattad bhavadi madhurye shrute dhir yadapekshate Natra shastram na yuktim cha tallobhotpatti lakshanam. How will you know? How will you get that lobha? Tat tad bhavadi madhurye shrute. On hearing the sweetness of all those moods of Vrajavasis towards Krishna. Shrute, when you hear them from a devotee who is already a pathika, a person walking on the path of Raganuga Bhakti. Dhir yadapekshate na atra shastram na yuktim cha. The intellect of a Raganuga Bhakta does not expect Shastra or logic. Till now I have highlighted so much, I have emphasized so much on Shastra Praman. Shastra is the Praman, everything from Shastra. In previous talks I have highlighted so much. But when it comes to Raganuga Bhakti, Sri Rupa Goswami says, Na Shastram na Yuktim cha. Your intelligence will neither expect Shastra nor logic. The sweetness itself, the experience of the Raganuga Bhakta will be the Pramana, will be the sole guide, will be the proof that you are on the correct path. This is the characteristic of appearance of Lobha. If more than Shastra Praman, if by hearing these sweet pastimes, your intelligence says, I don't worry so much about Shastra Praman, this is very sweet. This is really what I wanted in my bhakti. So the sweet experience of the Rasika Bhakta becomes your Praman. Now you understand you have Lobha. Now you understand that the strictures, the shackles of Vaidhi Bhakti have been slightly loosened. But I tied you heavily in those shackles in the previous talks. Shastra Praman. Because it is essential to first get bound up by those shackles and then experience the bliss of getting liberated from those shackles. Dear devotees. Those shackles are very important for majority of the people who are following Vaidhi Bhakti. But on the path of Raga, you cannot find Shastra Praman for each and everything. Tat tad bhavadi madhuri. You will hear the sweetness. Let me give examples of sweetness. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, would you like to hear an example of sweetness of Dasyaras?
Absolutely.
Yes. So, Bhava Madhurya. In the previous verse, it was said, Tat tad bhavadi madhurya. So, Bhava Madhurya of the servants of Dasyaras. The Gopal Champu describes. The Gopal Champu basically is a narration that takes place in the spiritual world. After Krishna has finished his pastimes here in Bhava Vrindavan, then when Krishna has returned to Goloka Vrindavan, there are narrations of Krishna's pastimes that occurred here. Those narrations are going on, and there are two beautiful singers who are singing these narrations. The Gopal Champu introduces us to two singers. Their names are Madhu Kantha and Snigdha Kantha. These two are servants of Nanda Maharaj and Sri Krishna. Every day, through their sweet voice, Madhu Kantha, which means the honey-throated one, whose throat is like honey, and Snigdha Kantha. Snigdha Kantha means whose throat is very sweet. Both of them sing sweetly the pastimes of Sri Krishna that occurred 5,000 years ago. One time, Madhu Kantha and Snigdha Kantha narrate the pastime of Damodar Lila. And they narrate how Sri Krishna liberated the Yamal Arjuna trees, who were basically the cursed sons of Kuvera, Nalakuvar and Manigriv. And then they say these two sons prayed in front of Sri Krishna that, oh Sri Krishna, may we always remain your devotees. May we always sing your glories, hear your glories. Oh Sri Krishna, please give us this benediction. And then these two are describing this incident in the spiritual world. And then they say, oh, then, they left for their abodes after having been blessed by Sri Krishna. After this Nanda Maharaj, who is in the assembly where all of this is being described, asks a question to Madhukant and Snigdhakant. What happened to Nalakuvar and Manigriv after they departed? Where did they go? These two singers stay silent. Nanda Maharaj asks, these are the direct words of Nanda Maharaj as given in Gopal Champu. Kathyatam tathyam, speak the truth. Samprati kutra pratiyato. Where have they gone after Krishna liberated them? Both of them stay silent. Nanda Maharaj again says, Sankuchitam iva katham nochitvanasi. Why are you so hesitant to speak where they have gone? Both of them stay silent. Nanda Maharaj again probes them and they say, Maharaj, let our silence be the answer. And then Nanda Maharaj understands that actually Madhukantha and Snigdhakantha were those two sons of Kubera. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, they had asked for this benediction. Vani gunanu kathane shravanau kathayam. May our speech be used always in your glorification and our ears in hearing your talks. And Sri Krishna had said tathastu. Let it be so. Nanda Maharaj, I am Nalakuvara and this Snigdhakantha is Manigriv. We are those two unfortunate sons of Kubera, but who were fortunate enough to be rescued by Narad Muni and Sri Krishna. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu Prabhu, did you feel that there is a sweetness in the way Sri Jiva Goswami narrated it in the Gopal Champu?
Yes, it's very sweet and personal.
But where was it? It's not mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
It's not mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, it's not mentioned that they became Madhukantha and Snigdhakantha. So, what to do?
I don't know, Prabhuji.
When the experience of the Rasika Bhaktas is Pramana, at that point of time, we should understand that we have lobha for such katha. When the intelligence does not expect shastric justification for each and every lila, because the leelas are so unlimited, Shastra cannot possibly contain all of those leelas. Therefore, the experience of the Rasika Bhaktas becomes the pramana, the proof for a Raganuga devotee. They stop asking questions like, why doesn't the Bhagavatam mention this? Why doesn't the Bhagavatam mention it? Logically, they should have gone back to Kuvera's abode. Natra Shastram na yuktim cha. The intellect will not expect Shastra or logic so much. But the experience of the Rasika devotees will be Praman here. I would, even though it is not mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the experience of the Rasika devotee, Srila Jiva Goswami, is Praman for me. I accept. The devotee who has this mood and then who says, I wish to hear more pertaining to Dasyaras. They have developed lobha for Dasya. This is the path of Raga Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti. Then they will try to follow in the mood of Madhukantha and Snigdhakantha, who already have Raga. They are Ragatmikas, and we become Raga Anugas by following both of them. So this is Bhava Madhurya of the servants. It doesn't expect Shastra or Yukti. Now, Bhava Madhurya, the friends. How about Sakhyaras? Rameshwar Mahaprabhu. Let's relish some Bhava Madhurya of Sakhyaras in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. All the gopis come to Mother Yashoda and lodge a complaint. The complaint is that your son has stolen milk, yogurt, etc. from our homes. And you can see it has been captured live on CCTV. So there is, of course, there's no CCTV there, but there's a very nice painting of it. So this is described in the 10th canto that Bhagavan used to steal. At this point of time, a devotee commentator named Sri Suri comes and gives wonderful commentary to justify that Bhagavan never ever stole. Never stole. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, did Krishna steal butter and yogurt?
Yes, he did.
If I prove to you that he didn't, in one single verse, would you be surprised?
Yes.
All right. So Sri Suri, while taking great relishment in this rasa, he takes relishment in all rasas, because generally rasikas, connoisseurs of rasa, they relish all the rasas before they settle down on one. So Sri Suri is relishing this rasa and he composes a verse. Tat tat sundara mandira sthita payo dadhyadi chauryahritis tattan mandira balakair virachita patachariya tata vrittir mamna hi samsprisheriti dhiya Shri Nayako Leelaya Balaneva Sahanayad Vrajagriham Prayah Prabhustatkrite. Rameshwar Mahaprabhu, you have to answer in yes or no, right?
Okay.
Tat Tat Sundara Mandira. Tat Tat. In Gokula, there are Tat Tat, those many beautiful houses. Yes or no?
Yes.
Sthita Payo. In the houses, there is milk, dadhi, yogurt, adi, etc. Agreed?
Yes.
Chauryahritis. And the allegation on our Bhagavan, our friend, Sri Krishna, is that he has stolen.
Yes.
In the third line, Sri Krishna himself is saying to Sri Suri in his heart, Vrittir mam nahi samsprishet. Let this allegation never touch me. Iti dhiya. I give you intelligence, Sri Suri. Give one argument in my favor. What argument? Sri Suri gives the argument in the second line. Tattan mandira balakaya virachita patachariya tata. Look at the painting, Prabhu. Whenever Sri Krishna would go to a particular home for stealing, he would ensure that the child of the home would always be there with him. If the child of the home was present and was knowing of the events that were going on, will you call it stealing, Prabhu?
No.
You see? Balane vasahane. Therefore, Krishna always used to go with all the friends, Vrajagriham, to each and every home of Vraja. Praya Prabhustat Krite, so that nobody will accuse our dear friend Shri Krishna ever of stealing. So, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, Prabhu, did Krishna ever steal? No. All right. So, this is Bhava Madhurya from the Sakhya point of view. Now, let's relish some Bhava Madhurya from the Vatsalya point of view. The elderly gopis. Sri Kavi Karnapur says in Ananda Vrindavan Champu. They once saw Sri Krishna playing on the flute at a very young age, and they asked a very sweet question. This verse is in the meter Vasant Tilakam, same as Brahma Samhita. Hey Krishna Matra Kucha Chucha Kachushane Pe Nalam yadetadadharoshtaputam tavasit tenadyate katipayeshu dineshva kasmad guroradhikatah kalavenu vadah. Hey Krishna, matra kuch chuch ke chushane pi. Matra is mother, kucha is her breast, chuchuka is the nipple on the breast. Chushanepi, even on properly holding that nipple through your mouth, to your lips. Nalam, your lower lip was incapable of even properly suckling upon that breast of your mother. This was your condition few days ago. You see, when children are growing up, they sometimes struggle to latch on to the breast of the mother. Your lower lip was unable to even grapple upon the breast nipple of Mother Yashoda. In a few days, Katipayeshu Dineshu, we are seeing since a few days, Akasmat. Because you are playing the flute using that very lower lip so expertly. Kasmat Guru Radhigataha. Which guru did you go to in order to learn Kalavenu Vadaha? This sweet play of flute. So, Nameshwar Mahaprabhu, I did not ask you a question. For the previous, when Krishna was stealing and we protected Krishna from the allegation of stealing. So Prabhuji, where is it mentioned? Is it mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna did not steal because he took all his friends with him?
No, Prabhuji.
Then why are we accepting this as Praman?
Samadhi Bhasha.
Yeah. It's the experience of a Rasik. That becomes Praman for us. Similarly, here, please read the translation, Prabhu.
O Krishna, that lower lip of yours was incapable of even properly suckling upon the breast nipple of your mother. Please tell us, which guru did you approach recently to quickly attain expertise in melodious flute play using that same lower lip?
So where is this mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam?
It's not.
It's not mentioned. So, Natra Shastram na Yuktimcha. Neither Shastra, sometimes not even logic will be so appealing as much as the Rasika realizations of a devotee. This is when one develops this lobha. I wish to hear more of this. I wish to hear more of this. That is the beginning of lobha. And that should happen naturally, not simply when you're sitting in the class and when somebody is telling it to you. That should happen naturally. You should go out seeking for these types of Krishna Lila. Nama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu. Nice kirtan of Sri Krishna Lila. You should actively, proactively go out and seek it. And when you are doing it naturally, when you are giving it your most valuable time in searching out and relishing these Leelas, that is when it is understood that you have lobha. And anybody who is satisfied simply in following the regulative principles, they have Vaidhi Bhakti. So, this was Vatsalya. Now, Bhava Madhurya of Sri Radha. Sri Radha takes so various moods in order to please Sri Krishna. One of the moods that Shri takes is Swadhina Bhartrika. Swadhina Bhartrika is when she has Sri Krishna like a completely devout servant wrapped around her little finger. That is the mood of Swadhina Bhartrika. This is described in the Alankar Kaustubh of Sri Kavi Karnapur. The verse is in the meter Prithvi. Very nice verse. Iyam mama sakhi priyarachaya veshamasya swayam prasadaya sakhi nimam mai vrithaiva jata krudha iti pranaya kautukadivaniyojito radhaya chakar rasikagrani ratha tatha tatha madhava. Shri Krishna knows that Srimati Radharani was sulky, she was unhappy. because he did not do according to her pleasure. So Sri Krishna is making up for it. He is acting as her servant, and she is giving him instructions, and he is following like a faithful servant. She is saying, Iyam mama sakhi priyam. Krishna, do you look at this sakhi of mine? Priya, she is very dear to me. Rachaya veshamasya swayam. Make sure you personally dress her up properly today. Prasadaya sakhini mam. Mai vrithaiva jatak kruta. And look at this other sakhi. She has become angry on me without any reason. Go and relieve her anger. So Sri Krishna is saying, yes, definitely, I'll do this. With folded hands. Iti pranaya kautukad, even yojito radhaya. In this way, our Sri Krishna, our Lord of Rasikas, was lovingly engaged by Sri Radha. And he promptly carried out tatha, all the orders like a diligent servant. Now, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, does this sound appropriate that Srimati Radharani will order Sri Krishna around and Sri Krishna is becoming the order carrier of Srimati Radharani?
No, Prabhuji.
Is it ever mentioned? Even her name is not mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. How dare these people compose such verses and make up these verses and start relishing them in classes?
It's not proper, Prabhuji.
It's not proper. So anybody who thinks like this, they are not accepting the experience of a Rasik as a Praman. Here the Rasik is Kavi Karnapur. His experience of Rasa is the Praman here. Where is it mentioned in Shastra that Sri Krishna was serving Srimati Radharani in this way? Where is it mentioned that she was acting as a Swadhin Bhartrika? A Naika, a heroine who completely controls her hero, has wrapped her hero around her little finger. Where is it mentioned? So these things are not for majority of the individuals who have no lobha, absolutely no lobha. But Shrute Tad Bhava Madhurya, when you hear the Bhava Madhurya, if somebody is very fortunate and their dhi, their buddhi becomes attracted to it, their intelligence becomes attracted to this Bhava Madhurya, Natra Shastram na yuktim cha. Forget about Shastra, forget about logical. Logically, the Purush is the superior. Logically, Shakti is supposed to be subordinate to Shaktiman. Arey, forget about logic here. Here, tal lobhotpatti lakshanam. If your intelligence keeps aside Shastra and logic for some time but accepts the mood of a Rasika as the primary Praman, and then your intelligence wants to walk on that path, then you have taken to the path of Raganuga Bhakti. Dear devotees, I have told you what it is and what it looks like. It's important to understand that Bhava Madhurya of a Rasika Bhakta is very important here and is the Praman in this regard. If we keep asking Shastra Praman for everything, unfortunately, Shastra cannot, although Shastra is Praman for everything in the world. But when it comes to Raga Bhakti, the experience of Rasikas is the main Pramana here, dear devotees. So, there are these 5 rasas, Shanta, Tasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. I did not give example of Shanta because in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Shanta ras is not considered as something which should be gifted. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't want to gift Shanta ras. Therefore, I didn't give example of that. Although there are examples of it in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. There's one example where Narad Muni plays on his veena, and there is Sanaka. Sanaka is one of the 4 Kumaras. He starts experiencing Brahmananda. He starts experiencing the joy of the impersonal Brahma on hearing the veena of Narad Muni. So that example is there in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. But I am not taking those examples. Because why to even speak of a path which we are not going to walk? We're not going to walk on that path. Especially in the Upadeshamritam series. There is nothing about, there is no connection between, this Shantaras and Brahmavad and Vrajaras. So why to speak about something which we are not going to follow? Therefore, those who are interested in Shantaras should see the Shantaras section of Bhakti Rasamrita. But as far as this particular lecture series is concerned, I started with Dasyaras. I showed an example of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. Now everybody should hear all of the kathas and then see naturally Lobha is in which direction. There's also a hierarchy amongst rasas for those who are followers of Sri Rupa Goswami Sampradaya. Shantaras has the quality of being one-pointedly dedicated towards Krishna and has the quality of giving up material desires. These are the two good qualities of devotees who are in Shantaras. They have zero material desires and they have one-pointed dedication towards Shri Krishna. And I'm speaking about the eternal associates. They have zero material desires and they have dedication towards Shri Krishna. Now comes Dasya. Dasya means those eternal associates who are situated as servants. They have all of the above qualities and they have something else. What do they have? They have the mode of rendering seva to Krishna as an inferior. So this is what Dasyaras includes. Krishna seva is there in Dasyas, the additional factor. In Sakhyaras, all of the above. Krishna seva is also there. But excessive feeling of belongingness. Krishna is mine. Krishna is mine with, they have this ego. Krishna is within our blood lineage. He is also a Gopa. We are Gopas. We have the same family blood lineage. Excessive belongingness and non-hesitation in dealing, keeping your hand on Krishna's shoulders, playing, having fun with Sri Krishna, up to the extent of even gali. Gali means sometimes giving, some abusive words. This is also happening sometimes, dear devotees. Non-hesitation in dealing. Sakhyaras has, therefore Sakhya is greater than Dasya and Shanta. Vatsalya has all of the above. But in addition, it also has the ego of considering oneself to be a protector and maintainer of Sri Krishna. And Madhurya has all of the above. Srimati Radharani considers herself as the protector of Krishna. If I don't protect Krishna, if I don't take care of him, what will happen? If I don't maintain him, I don't feed him, what will happen? All these moods are there. But on top of that, Madhurya has the topmost quality of serving Krishna through amorous love by offering one's entire body to Sri Krishna. All of these gradations are mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, dear devotees. Therefore, all rasas are glorious. And we don't have to artificially fit ourselves in Madhurya ras. Some of us may be attracted to Sakhya, Vatsalya or Dasya. We have to see what is the indication, the innate indication, the innate attraction by Tat-tad bhavadi madhurya shrute, by hearing the Bhava Madhurya. By repeatedly hearing, we should come to know what it is, dear devotees. Don't just try to go with the herd mentality. Oh, somebody said Madhurya is the highest, so today I will subscribe for Madhurya Ras. You cannot subscribe artificially. Sorry, you need to have lobha of that type. Without lobha, what will you do? So Prabhu, how do I attain? What can I do to attain lobha? There's nothing mechanical you can do. Oh Prabhu, then how will we get it? Please tell me. I cannot spoon feed it to you. Sorry. I can only indicate the path. And I can give you a few examples like I gave you. But you have to walk on the path. Each and every one of us has to walk on the path. Otherwise, it will never happen. Otherwise, the fallback option is Vaidhi Bhakti. That's it. Oh Prabhu, I think it is better I do Vaidhi Bhakti. Fair enough. But do not expect Goloka Vrindavan in that case. That is the sum and substance of the understanding. Therefore, it is very important that we learn the entire culture of the science of the art of Raganuga Bhakti from a qualified guru, Shiksha or Diksha guru. Because it's specified by the previous acharyas. A very learned personality named Sri Radhakrishna Goswami. He is in the parampara of Sri Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, and he was the pujari of Govinda Devji temple. He says, Ashraishyamane Gurau Tad Bhava Madhuryam Ayata. He says the requisite sweetness of experiencing Bhakti Ras should be present in the Guru. The Guru should be an expert relisher. Otherwise, how will we know what it is to relish? We should see somebody relish Bhakti Ras. Anyatha bodha sanchara bhavat. Otherwise, the Guru himself is not a relisher and doesn't even have the knowledge and cannot transfer the required knowledge and experience to the disciples. Cannot. Dear devotees, therefore, it's very important that the Guru that we take shelter of, and that Guru who will teach us Raganuga Bhakti will be the main Guru of our lives. You know, we do that Guru who will open the gates of Goloka Vrindavan will be the Guru who will, the Guru who will teach us Raganuga Bhakti. He should be a personal experiencer of Tad Bhava Madhuryam, of that sweetness of Bhakti Rasa. Anyatha, otherwise, Bodha Sanchar Abhavat. Otherwise, the Guru will lack the capability to transmit the experience to the disciple. The disciple should sit in the association of the Guru and get a live experience of Bhakti Rasa. Then it is practical. Pratyaksha-vagamam. You know, what is the meaning? Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. Pratyaksha-vagamam dharmyam susukham kartumavya. What is the meaning of that?
That the path of bhakti is directly experienced and the source of all happiness.
Wonderful. So when will we experience? After death or within this life? Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. When will we experience?
Within this life.
Yes. It will only happen when at least one of our Gurujanas is already a relisher of the path. Dear devotees, whatever is needed to find such a Guru, we should have the required capability to find and to surrender to such a Guru and to take instructions from such a Guru in order to attain that. It will not be attained in a mass quantity. Anybody who is telling you, just do this and all of us will attain. Sorry. Please don't fall to sweet illusions. Please don't fall to sweet illusions. It's very anyatha. He's very clearly saying anyatha. Otherwise, bodha sanchara bhavat. The knowledge and experience cannot be transmitted. He could have written, oh, just do one thing. And why couldn't he have written that, just hold on to the dhoti of Rupa Goswami and millions of people will attain? He could have also written, what is the harm in catching the dhoti of Sri Rupa Goswami? But he will not give you a sweet illusion, dear devotees. Therefore, it's important to understand that we should ourselves see a person experiencing it, and then we should also have the requisite knowledge of the path. Srila Prabhupada confirms this. Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, kindly read what he says in a purport to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22.153.
Unless one follows the six Goswamis, Sri Rupa, Sanatana, Raghunath Bhatta, Sri Jiva, Gopala Bhatta, and Raghunath Dasa, one cannot be a bona fide, spontaneous lover of Krishna.
Wonderful. This is a direct statement written in the books. I have not taken a statement from a lecture or from a personal conversation. This is a direct statement in the books. Books are the law books. So from the law books, there is a statement that unless one follows the six Goswamis, one cannot be a bona fide, spontaneous means Raganuga, lover of Sri Krishna. Prabhupada used to use the term spontaneous for Raganuga. So one cannot be a bona fide Raganuga, lover of Sri Krishna. So no excuse will work. Somebody will say, come and say, no, just follow Srila Prabhupada. But Prabhupada says, follow the six Goswamis. So somebody says, only follow A. And when you go to person A says, follow person B. So Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, should I remain stuck on following person A, or should I follow the instruction of person A to follow person B?
Follow A and B.
Yes. So I will only be able to follow A if I follow his instruction of following person B. If I come to A and say, no, I will only follow you, I don't know about following B. But person A will say, I told you to follow person B. Hello, I told you to follow person B. You are not following me if you are not following my instruction to follow person B. So here it is directly in the words of Srila Prabhupada. Unless one follows the six Goswamis, Rupa, Sanatan, Raghunath Bhatt, Jiva, Gopal Bhatt, Raghunath Das, one cannot be a bona fide spontaneous lover of Sri Krishna. So through sadhu, through guru, through shastra, it is clearly established that there is a specific path to follow. The conclusion given by, in this regard, the conclusion is given by Sri Gopal Goswami and Sanatan Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas. In the final Vilas, in the final chapter, chapter 20 of Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is written, Evam ekantinam prayah kirtanam smaranam prabho kurvatam parama pritya krityamanyan narochate. It describes the mood of a Raganuga Bhakta. Evam ekantinam prayah. In this way, for those who are one-pointedly dedicated to what? Kirtanam smaranam. These two things are mentioned in the verse also. So kirtananu smritya. Kirtanam smaranam prabho. Kirtan and smaran of Sri Krishna. Parama pritya, with greatest love. Krityam anyan narochate. Other activities of material life do not appear tasteful in most cases to such people, because other activities become tasteless to them. The only taste they will find is in kirtan, repeatedly singing the sweet verses of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, and in remembering them, in reminiscing them, in chewing upon those verses within the mind. Dear devotees, please take this path seriously, and please know that this is the only path to attain Goloka Vrindavan. Other forms of bhakti lead to other results and other destinations. So thank you very much, dear devotees. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit vidvam saha purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit. It's possible I might have made a mistake. Vidvamsa, you're all learned devotees, purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. But yadatra saushthavam kinchit. If there's anything nice, please remember that guroreva, it belongs to my gurujanas. Me nahi, it doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu Prabhu. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for another wonderful lesson. You put so much love and attention into these, and you're drawing from so many bona fide sources that I am so unfortunate I haven't read, but you've read them in the original language and you're bringing it to us in English. It's so wonderful, Prabhuji. So thank you very, very much. We're going to go to questions and answers now, and we'll just request that you not ask questions about specific people or institutions, and try to keep your questions short so there's time for everyone. And if you have more questions, and just do a little bit at a time, we'll come back to you. And what's the third thing? I should know by now, but I forget.
Yeah, I think that's it. And no promotion or criticism of an institution or an individual. Right? If you have more than one query, please wait in line, and please ask one question at a time. And please.
The third one is, sorry, Prabhuji. The third one is to focus on today's class, or Upadeshamritam, not asking, well, I was reading this and I had a question about this. And
so, please focus on the topic.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. With that, we will begin with Tanvi Desai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. So you were using this term that fortunate devotee, and mostly devotees we find, like you mentioned the 5 stages initially, and mostly we find devotees at the second stage. And now devotees, they of course aspire for the correct path, but then what is the exact criteria? Like, what do you exactly mean by fortunate devotees? It is like random devotees can't go progress, but what is the criteria?
So what is the criteria of progress? As I said, the criteria is who attains Lobha, and there is no fixed criteria for attaining Lobha. Therefore, I put the term fortunate. I said they should have some sukriti from previous lives, bhakti sukriti, and from this life. Sometimes even from this life, if they have bhakti sukriti, they can become fortunate. But they should be fortunate means that they should have bhakti sukriti from previous lives and this life. In order to gain that faith, in the path of Raganuga Bhakti. Otherwise, that faith doesn't come so easily. We go and speak about this, many, even though they are devotees, they will say, oh, this is not needed. You don't need to do all these elaborate things. Just chant and you will go back to Godhead. Sure, why not? So when we hear statements like this, we understand that this person doesn't have faith in the specific type of bhakti that Sri Rupa Goswami taught. They just have faith in a general type of bhakti. You just chant and let that headache Krishna will take. You don't take so much headache. Like this they will say. So, Mahaprasade, Govinde, Nam Brahmani, Vaishnave, Swalpa Punya Vatam Rajan. And please complete the sentence.
Also naiva jayate.
Vishwaso naiva jayate. Right? So it takes not Swalpa Punya, it takes Maha Punya. It takes great devotional piety in order to come to that stage. Right?
Thank you.
Next we have Mohit Deshmukh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you for wonderful katha. Like in Gopal Champu, you mentioned that Nalakuber and Manikriva become Madhukanta and Snigdakanta. So as we know about their past, mentioned in the Shastra that they were cursed by Sri Narada Muni because they were engaged in the sinful activities and such activities which are against the Shastra, normal conducts. So even after cursing, like that is the most biggest blessing to them, that they become the trees in the courtyards of Nanda Maharaj. So is it due to their past bhakti sukritis that they get such cursed, and then after that, by seeing such pastimes of Vrajendra Nandanandan, they get the lobe, and because of that lobe, this all doesn't matter at all. Like whatever they were first and whatever they were engaged in, because of the lobe, they got that adhikar to enter in Shri Goloka Vrindavan and be in the Dasya Ras and serve in the Dasya Ras to Shyam Sundar Shri Krishna.
No. Their bhav and prem is Krishna Prasadotha, is directly by the mercy of Sri Krishna. Their bhav and prem did not arise because of sadhan bhakti, because there is no track record of them executing sadhan bhakti. Therefore, Sri Rupa Goswami had given a category of bhava and prem arising solely by Sri Krishna or his devotees' mercy. So this is the variety of bhava and prem that they got, but this is an exceptional case. Most cases in Srimad Bhagavatam are of sadhakas who have attained bhava or prem by execution of sadhan bhakti. So this is the case in their case. Sri Krishna is the one who has given bestowed direct mercy. And why did he give to them? Why not to us? Well,
it's his sweet will.
It is his sweet will, because he is a person and not a machine. It's not that you give certain input to Krishna and Krishna gives certain output. So Krishna is a logical machine. It's not that. Krishna is also a person. To some he gives, to some he doesn't give. That is the.
And also Sri Narada acted as the
agent.
Medium, the sadhu's mercy.
Yeah. Sadhu is the agent. Yeah.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Next we have Ananga Mohan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Am I audible?
Yeah, and also visible.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for such a wonderful presentation again, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is, there is a Raganuga Bhakti in other sampradayas also. And what is the speciality we are calling ourselves Rupanuga? So what is the difference between Rupanuga and Raganuga in general? And what is, as we are the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so what is the role of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in our sampradaya in bestowing Raganuga Bhakti?
So that is found in the verse Anarpita Charim Chirat, that which was not offered for a long time. Unnata Ujjvala Rasa, that is offering of Raganuga Bhakti in the mood of the gopis, especially as servants of Srimati Radharani. This is the gift of Sri Rupa Goswami. And to explain the mood of Srimati Radharani, this is the gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is in short I am telling you. But you have to see the commentaries on that verse Anarpita Charim Chirat. As many commentaries as you can see. try to see the verse from different points of view and different angles. So that will be the answer to your query, Prabhuji. Right?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Next we have Omkar Yamal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hope I said
Prabhu.
that right.
Prabhuji, the verse which you quoted for the definition of Vaidhi Bhakti, in the Tika, the Jiva Goswami, Dargam Sangamini Tika, the last sentence which Jiva Goswami says is like, even if someone has rag, but is dependent on some scripture, that will be considered Vaidhi in some portion. So my question was like, in general outlook, I have seen like people generally do not fall completely like only Shastra Shasan or like completely following the lobe. They are generally in between the gradations. Like someone may have some lobha but need of some Shastra Brahman. Or someone may have lobha in general for Krishna Lila, but not a specific type of relation. So what will these two kind of categories fall in between? Will be they like considered as Raganuga or Vaidhi?
As far as Tattad Bhavadi Madhurya, as far as the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes are concerned, if a person believes that without Shastra Praman it is not valid, it needs to have Shastra Praman, then obviously the mindset is of Vaidhi Bhakti. But eventually, gradually, if his mind gives up this particular restriction, they can progress gradually. It doesn't have to be, at one time. Their mindset can change by continuous association with Guru. But even till the end of their life, if they say, no, whatever was in scripture, that historical aspect is the only one we should accept, then obviously they have an element of Vaidhi Bhakti in them. So that is the answer to your query.
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Done.
Next we have Ajay Govinda Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for a very wonderful detailed session, Prabhu. My question is related to the slide where you were talking about the 5 rasas, and you mentioned that the Shant rasa is dedication to Krishna, and Dasya is the ras where dedication is there and seva is there. And my definition to seva is anything we do for Krishna, even remembering Krishna or taking names of Krishna is seva. Then how do I understand the dedication part which is there for the Shant rasa? I mean, how the relationship would exist if there is no seva?
Shanta obviously has no concept of I and mine. They don't see Krishna as somebody who personally belongs to them. But they are most attracted to seeing Krishna from a distance. That they are one pointed towards. Therefore, when I quoted the references, it is Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 19.219. I will share Madhya 19.219 with you, because it's very important to understand. It's a very important question that the Shanta devotees, they don't have any feeling of belongingness, but they understand, they are attracted to the opulence of Sri Krishna. And I'm sharing this verse. Kevala Swarupa Gyan Haya Shantarase. Only the knowledge of Krishna's Swarup is there in Shantaras. This dedicated knowledge is what tops their realization. This is the topmost thing in their realization. This is what keeps them dedicated towards Krishna. But no concept of I and mine. That is what it is. So they are so attached to understanding Krishna as the supreme Paramatma, as the supreme Brahman. That is their dedication. But they don't want to play an active role in Krishna Lila. They want to be observants of Krishna Lila from a distance. But they would not do anything else in the world. They will not fall to material desires. They will remain situated in that position. So does that clarify the query, or did I miss out on something?
Any examples for that? I'm just trying to understand what kind of exchange they would have. A relationship is not without an exchange. Some sort of exchange is expected in a relationship. So what exchange would be that? If you can just give an example.
Look, let me give an example of a tree who's observing Sri Krishna Lila from a distance. Now, think of a tree in Goloka Vrindavan who's observing Sri Krishna Lila from a distance. The tree sees Sri Krishna walking around the forest. Now, in the mind of the tree, there are so many realizations coming. Verses after verses after verses of magical realizations are coming. And the tree is happy with those realizations. And then the sprouts are coming on the tree's body. It is experiencing Shantaras Anand. And it's happy with that. Now, ask the tree, why don't you go and play with Sri Krishna directly? No, 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 no. I am happy observing from a distance. Or let's say the water. The waters, not of Yamuna, but any other body of water in the spiritual world. The water body is observing and it experiences ecstasy. So the mountains are observing, they are experiencing ecstasy. So the distant observers, but who don't want to take an active role in the Lila. Now, sometimes some exceptions happen, like Sri Krishna personally comes and touches the tree. And then the tree starts, experiencing detailed symptoms of ecstasy. So this is what it is. I hope these examples were, I don't want to direct interaction. Right. This is what it is. Right. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, sir.
Next we have Sri Ram Patro Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Am I audible?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my query is, Prabhuji, you mentioned about the 5 rasas, no? So, Prabhuji, what I want to know is, Prabhuji, these 5 rasas are only for Sri Krishna or Srimati Radharani as well. As Prabhuji, I feel more connected to Srimati Radharani than Sri Krishna. Is it anyway, Prabhuji, aprad or sahaja tendency? Also, Prabhuji, as in, I have heard Prabhuji like Bhakti Vinod Thakur wants to live life at Kurukshetra because to assist
Just
Srimati
one question
Radharani.
at a time, please.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
And
it's hard to remember many questions, so let's just start with the first one.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So your query is, what about rasas with keeping Srimati Radharani as the Vishay, as the subject of the rasa? No, that is not there, because Krishna is the Akhila Rasamrita Murti. He is the personality towards whom all the rasas are directed towards. In the spiritual world, you don't find anybody who just has an independent relationship with Srimati Radharani or Sri Yashoda or Sri Nanda and has no primary relationship with Krishna. In the spiritual world, there is one center of attraction, and that one center of attraction is Sri Krishna. So, and it is also a dangerous tendency because, I heard a few years ago, there was one individual who was saying, just like we have Madhurya Ras towards Sri Krishna, why can't we have towards Sri Radha? And it's a very dangerous idea, because somebody may falsely use it to project their Purusha Bhav. Purusha Bhav means their feelings as a male, and say that, I will consider Srimati Radharani as an object of this rasa, which is very incorrect. The object of love and the person towards whom our love should be directed is Sri Krishna. And Srimati, we have to have dasya of Srimati Radharani. Sri Rupa Goswami is very clear. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami is very clear that our relationship with Srimati Radharani in the spiritual world, for those who are in Madhurya Ras, is of dasya. So Radha Dasyam is that relationship. So it is very clear. Not Radha Sakyam, not Radha Vatsalyam, primarily Sri Radha Dasya. This is what it is in the Sampradaya of Sri Rupa Goswami. All right.
Yes, please. So just adding to it, Puji. So we can consider as servant of Radharani, or Puji, we can consider Puji as Radharani and Sri Krishna both, Puji. Because Puji, what my query exactly is, no, Puji, I feel as a dasya only, Puji. Not I will say I will feel, but Puji, I feel more connected when I Puji hear about Srimati Radharani or Puji Radhashtami festival and all those days. Then so Puji, so the Radha Dasyam is okay, Puji.
See, first and foremost, it is very important to understand that whether the feelings that are there in our heart, are they, first and foremost, are we hearing from a proper bona fide source? And secondly, it also requires initiation on the path. because all the 64 limbs of bhakti, first is initiation. After initiation, you practice a specific type of bhakti by the permission of the guru, by the blessings of the guru. So it cannot be independent of the guru's knowledge. Please try to, it's not that independently I feel very nice. No, no, sir, it's not like that. It has to come from a guru who is experienced in the field and who has given the blessings. Yes, you do it, you are capable of doing it. Otherwise, what will happen? People will automatically assume, oh yeah, I am attracted to this, I am attracted to that, so let me go ahead and do it without the blessings of the guru, without the proper training of the guru. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. You said, you said you feel more joy when you hear the kathas of Srimati Radharani. All right. So Srimati Radha, so it requires an understanding of ras. Question is, what is the definition of ras? Sri Ram Prabhu.
Prabhuji, which gives joy to the heart or something like that.
That's not ras. Ras has a very intricate definition. It's not just simply something which gives joy to the heart. So a lot of training is required in this direction so that we do not waver from the correct path. My suggestion is that Shravan Dasha under a qualified guru. I had spoken of Shravan Dasha previously. Shravan Dasha from a qualified guru is of utmost importance. We should hear from a proper source, and then from the permission of a bona fide guru who is himself trained on the path, then only should we try to venture on this particular direction. That is my answer to your query. Right?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Next, Prabhuji, we have a question from Dipayan Mukherjee Prabhu in the chat. I'll read it. What are the different commentaries on the Anarpadachitam Charat shloka, Prabhuji?
There is a commentary in Sanskrit on it by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We should, those who have the Gaudiya Math edition of Chaitanya Charitamrita can find it in the Gaudiya Math edition that was printed during the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There is the Gaudiya Math edition has also been translated into Hindi, so we can also have the Hindi edition of that commentary of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That is one commentary. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has also given a commentary because this verse appears in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's also a very nice book called as Prema Pattanam by Rasikottam. So he was a Gaudiya Vaishnava, and he also wrote a commentary, a beautiful commentary. There's also a commentary ascribed to, not directly written by, but ascribed by somebody to Srila Jiva Goswami. So there are almost 3 or 4 commentaries on Anarpita Charim Chirat, and I'm giving the names here. Right?
And where would we find that, Prabhuji?
So I've tried to upload a few of them on my archive page. You can find, I also translated the entire commentary of Sri Jiva Goswami on Anarpita Charim Chirat into English in the Krishna Kathamrita Bindu. So if you search for Krishna Kathamrita Bindu and Anarpita Charim Chirat, in multiple parts I translated it in the Krishna Kathamrita Bindu. And there's a very nice literature named Prema Pattanam, the City of Love. This is a very nice literature by Gaudiya Vaishnava, Sanskrit literature, Prema Pattanam. It's in the beginning of that Prema Pattanam, there is Anarpita Charim Chirat and a wonderful commentary by Shri Rasikottam. So Gaudiya Vaishnavas, some are well known, some are not so well known. But I love all of them who are faithful to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who are writing the correct Siddhanta. So I'm giving some examples. Right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Next, we have Adi Bhagavan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Pranam.
Prabhuji, thank you very much, Prabhuji, first of all, for such a nice session and deep, thoughtful session. I specifically liked the examples you gave for Shute Dhirya Dapekshate and how the different sweetnesses are described. Thank you for those examples. So, Prabhuji, my question is from the slide you described about how the higher rasas include the previous rasas, I think from Sanatan Siksha. So, when I'm reading this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Northern Wave, northern section. Eighth wave, there are few examples of Vairi rasa or inimical rasas, and it is mentioned that how Dasya with Madhurya or Vatsalya with Madhurya, they are like examples are given, and which are Jiva Goswami's comments are given that they are actually imaginary examples, and they are not actually possible in a person who has developed rasa properly. So I wanted to know, Prabhuji, like I understand that the raga or sneha or prema, these states are present in Madhurya as well as Sakhya in Vatsalya. They are present, and there is so much more present in Madhurya Ras. So in that sense, I understand that how they are inclusive. But when it comes to the feelings, that what Vatsalya devotee feel for Krishna as an object, or Sakhya devotees feel towards Krishna as an object, Madhurya Rasa devotees, Krishna is the object, but the feelings, are they same? I'm having doubt. So how should I understand this?
The feelings they're having the same. I mean, you'll have to. I mean, I couldn't. You'll have to rephrase the final part of the question.
Yeah, I'm asking Prabhuji, Vatsalya have a mood of protection. That word was there in the slide. And
Right.
here the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu gives an example that a desirous woman living in Kailas said, "May you live long," and then embraced Krishna with pleasure. Jiva Goswami says this is imaginary, just for giving an example. So, so the basically thing is, "May you live long" is the feelings of Vatsalya Ras devotee, and embracing Krishna is the Anubhava, I say, yeah, for Madhurya Ras devotee. So, and there are some particular feelings also in Madhurya Rasa. So these feelings are not combined in one person.
Prabhuji,
Generally.
what's the question?
So my question is that when we say the rasas like Madhurya include previous rasas, what do we actually mean?
That they include the most important factors of the previous rasas. Not necessarily all the shades of the previous rasas, but the most important factors from the previous rasa is included there.
Okay, you mean Prabhuji that raga, sneha, and prema, these all are included? That's what you mean?
No, I specifically, the Chaitanya Charitamrita lists the factor which is included. In the slide, I said that, in Shantaras, dedication towards Sri Krishna and freedom from material desires are the prominent factors which get included automatically in Dasyaras. But Dasyaras has the additional factor of personal service. This factor also gets included in Sakhyaras. Sakhya has the qualities of personal service, but with equality. Now, equality as in the sense of you can order Krishna also. This feeling of ordering Krishna gets included in Vatsalya also. But Vatsalya not only has that, but also has the feeling of taking care of Sri Krishna. Now, this feeling of taking care of Sri Krishna gets included in Madhurya Ras, but Madhurya Ras also has the feeling of offering one's entire body to Sri Krishna. So the most prominent, that this is a system of gradation in which the most prominent factor of each rasa gets included in the higher rasa. That's all.
Okay, yeah, but that's what example here is saying that the
Prabhuji, can we come
protection.
back to you?
Okay, 1 minute, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So you'll have to, Prabhu, point out to me the verse number. Please give me the verse number. I'll look at the Sanskrit because I'm sure you're reading the English commentary. Am I correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So it's important. I'll look at the Sanskrit commentary. You please give me the verse number and I'll come back to you.
Sure. Yes, Prabhuji. I'll put in the chat box. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please be on the line. Please be in the call. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next we have Madhav Tripati Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Prabhuji, thank you so much for this wonderful series and this wonderful lecture. Prabhuji, I had this question as you mentioned about we have to confirm everything, like whatever feelings we are having, whatever like inspirations we are having towards any particular emotions towards Krishna. So we should get them clarified with the Gurujanas. So
initially,
yes.
When you are in the learning phase, initially, you should be trained by a guru. Not that till the end of your life you should be, consulting on each and everything, because at certain point of time the guru may disappear. Okay, so what's the question?
So Prabhuji, like in, let's say, even in an initial stage, it may not always be possible to like go and confirm everything with the guru. So in that case, what should we do? Because we may go wrong at certain places. So what should we do at that time?
See, if you are afraid, then fear is not the motivating factor for Raganuga Bhakti. If you're afraid of something, if you're afraid of making a mistake, all right, even though you have learned so much from the guru, if you're afraid still, which means that the mindset is not yet fixed in Raganuga Bhakti. So,
like, yes, Prabhuji.
You have understood the Siddhanta, the Tattva from a proper guru. Now, after that, if there's some small mistake that happens, and then mistakes can also happen in Vaidhi Bhakti. Big mistakes can take place in Vaidhi Bhakti. So what about that? Obviously, the risk of making mistakes is there in all forms of Bhakti. But with the confidence that you have learned something nice from the Guru, and mostly nothing wrong will happen. Therefore, Narottam Das Thakur prays, Anukula habe vidhi, Śrī-Upadeśāmṛtam siddhi. And let the entire process be favorable. Let me attain Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. With that hope, we move ahead. Otherwise, Sri Narottam Das Thakur also knows there is a possibility, risk of making an error. Obviously, yes. But just because there is a risk doesn't mean that we stop walking on the path. Once you have the required qualification, you can walk on the path. That is the answer.
Yeah, so the fearlessness is like the prerequisite.
Fearless, not fear, it's confidence. I don't call it reckless fearlessness. It is confidence. And if a person doesn't have that required level of confidence, then they are motivated by fear, and fear cannot be a motivating factor in Raganuga Bhakti. Okay. Fear can be a motivating factor in Vaidhi Bhakti. That is the answer to your query.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Next, we have Bhagavati Vasudha Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for this very detailed lecture.
Will you please speak up or speak closer to the microphone? Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji. So is it clear now?
Yeah, clearer. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Finally, we came with the instruction or process that we have to be dedicated to Kirtan and Smaran.
Yeah.
So that means we have to hear a lot and we have to share or speak Kirtan. So it culminates in only two process of bhakti, like hearing and preaching. So how to understand this? Like if other things are required to be taken care as long as we are in this material world.
I didn't understand it. The verse says Kirtan and Smaran, Mataji. The verse is saying Kirtan and Smaran. So glorifying and remembering. Glorifying and remembering. These are the two things which are going on simultaneously. So
yes,
not hearing and speaking, not hearing, it's glorifying, and Smaran is the most important part of Raganuga.
So before that we have to hear also. So I included
Yeah. So first is Shravan Dasha, second is Varana Dasha, third is Smarana Dasha, fourth is Apan Dasha, and fifth is Sampati Dasha. So gradually you progress, but other limbs of bhakti are also there. Sri Rupa Goswami has said in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, in Raganuga Bhakti, most of the other limbs will be there. I will show you a pramana for that. Yeah. Where is it in? Yeah. So I will share my screen with you. Here it is. This is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Eastern Division, second wave, verse 296. Shravan utkirtanadini vaidha bhakti uditani tu yani angani chatanyatra vigyayani manishibhi. So, Shravan utkirtanadini, Shravan Kirtan, etc. Vaidha bhakti uditani tu, that those that were, those that began in Vaidhi Bhakti. Yani angani cha, whatever limbs, tani atra vigyani, they are also there. One should know, the learned should know. The commentary Sri Jiva Goswami says, Vaida Bhakti Uditani, those are limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti, but Swasva Yogyani, only if they are useful to your progress in Raganuga Bhakti. Iti Gyayam. That is the answer to your query, Mataji. I hope that satisfies your query, or was there some other query?
Yes, Prabhuji, I understood. So one, if it is helping in these things, we can do that, take up that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next we have Sachindra Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the wonderful class. It's the highlight of my week to be able to listen to your class. And, from the bottom of our hearts, I thank you. My question regards Loba. I feel by Krishna's mercy, all of us have a certain amount of Loba in this group. And therefore, we have been fortunate to come across your lectures. I especially feel that in my life. But in terms of, when you say that when you meet your guru, jana, diksha or shiksha gurus, who have that bhakti rasa or experiencing it, and you have to initially go to them to get, go to them to understand some of the initially how you're feeling and get some instruction from them. But I feel that it's very hard nowadays. A lot of times we have gurus, diksha gurus and shiksha gurus, but to be able to approach them and have this instructional points are very tough, because it's almost like you get initiated and you do your regulative principles, Vaidhi Bhakti, and the rasa that you're talking about is very hard to attain, because you don't know how much the guru may appreciate you going with that intimate talks, and B, a certain element of fear is there, but at the same time that openness may not be there. What to do if that devotee has that loba, but how does he channel it?
See, the thing is, Sri Rupa Goswami, very clear instructions in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu were that one should serve the Guru Vishrambhena Guru Seva. That the service of Guru should be with Vishrambha, with confidence. Unless we have confidence in our dealings and association of the Guru, that means our relationship with the Guru is also driven by a certain amount of fear. And respect should be there, awe and reverence should be there. But at the same time, confidence should also be there in our dealings with the Guru. It's difficult to find a Guru like that, obviously, yes. It's difficult because, as I said, most people do not reach stage 5. But this is what the Upadeshamritam is speaking about. And it's important that at least we should know that such an ideal exists, that there are certain individuals like that who exist. And then it will force us to cry for Sri Krishna, because only when we feel a severe lacking in our heart, does the heart cry out in order to fulfill that lacking. And it's important to cry for Krishna in order to get these desires fulfilled. Because unless one is able to cry to Sri Krishna, till that point of time, Krishna will not take it seriously, because otherwise it will become a mechanical process. Only when one is put in a state of discomfort, out of one's comfort bubble, does one change, and change for the better. Within the comfort bubble, one never improves. It's only when one is put in such a distressing situation that one tries to think of what can be done. So this is what I can say at this point of time. But it is very important to cry for Sri Krishna in order to attain such a Guru. Our previous Acharyas have all done that and have all attained such a Rasika Guru. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur had Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj had his Guru. His Guru had Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, who had Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who had Sri Ganganarayan Chakravarti, who had Sri Narottam Das Thakur, who had Sri Jiva Goswami, who had Sri Rupa Goswami. All of them have done it. But if we want to attain that particular highest fruit from the tallest tree, we must also cry for it. That is what I can say at this point of time. I agree with you. I empathize with the feeling. But at the same time, this is what will help us come out of our comfort zone and cry for Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. I completely satisfied with that question, that answer. Thank you.
Next we have Sudevi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
My pronouns.
My question is is there any connection between one's Sri Murti Seva and the rasa that person develops for Sri Krishna? Like if one is serving Sri Laddu Gopal, is it that person develops Valsalya rasa? Is there any such connection?
Yes, there is a connection like that. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu mentions an example of a devotee carpenter who was serving a deity of Bal Gopal and who attained perfection in Vatsalya Ras. So, depending on how we perceive Shri Murti, also, it can, seva of Shri Murti is also a very big motivating factor in attainment of a specific type of bhav. So, I will show you Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, second wave. This is verse number 307. Sri Rupa Goswami says, Tatha hi shruyate shastre. It is heard in Shastra. Kaschit, there was somebody, Kurupuri Sthita, who used to stay in Kurukshetra. What was he doing? Nanda Sunor Adhishthanam. He was worshipping an Adhisthana, deity of the son of Nanda Maharaj, the deity of Bala Gopal. Tatra Putra Taya Bhajan, by considering the deity as his son. Naradasya Upadeshena, according to the instructions of Narad Muni. Siddho Bodh, he attained perfection in his love. Vriddha Vardhaki, this should be Vardhakihi. So he was an old carpenter. So this is very clearly mentioned here. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in the commentary that Anena, by this, Iyam Seva na Vrajendrasya Bhava Cheshtitanusarani Gyeya. His service cannot be compared directly to the service of Nanda Maharaj. Why? Tena tu sakshat Sri Krishna seva iti seva krita. Nanda Maharaj directly served Sri Krishna. Na tu tat pratimaya. Nanda Maharaj did not serve a deity. Tasma, therefore, sadhakena tu sakshat darshan asambhavat tat pratimaya eva seva kartavya. Therefore, because the sadhaka does not get a direct darshan of Sri Krishna, therefore the sadhaka should serve the deity in a loving mood. This is the answer to your query.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Adi Bhagavan Prabhu has put in the chat the reference from Bhakti Rasamrita.
Yeah, so I'll answer a few questions and meanwhile I'll look up his reference and then I will come back to his question.
Next we have Parama Karuna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So yes, Prabhuji, I have heard from you a few times that, crying for Krishna to find such a guru in Raganuga Bhakti is the process. Again, not the process, but is what we can do. So that I totally understand, like you answered to Sachindra Krishna Prabhu. My question is, till then, what should one do till Krishna sends such a guru our way? And I'm assuming your answer is Shravana Dasha, to hear. But if we have to hear Hari Katha from such a person, from such a Rasik devotee, that also kind of is a circular sort of a reference that you have to find such a person to hear from. And till one finds such a person, what should one hear? My question is still that kind of, till Krishna sends such a person to either hear from or take shelter from, and who is ready to give shelter, etc., or even just we hear passively like a one direction, unidirectional. What should one do till then?
All right. So The answer to this is given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was asked, how will I find such a bona fide spiritual master? And he gave an answer to this. This was published in the booklet named How to Find Guru. And he says the Supreme Lord acts as a Guru in two ways, as the Chaitya Guru within the heart and externally as the Mahanta Guru or the pure devotee. Now this is the person whom we are looking for, the Mahanta Guru. Basically. If I am sincere, then the Lord reveals the Mahanta Guru to me. We can go to 1,000 different people with a petition in hand. But until the one person who can approve our application approves it, we get nowhere. The Supreme Lord is that person. Why he does or does not approve our request is something we cannot fathom. He is not a field laborer working in our personal garden. In Hindi, we say Bagiche ka mali. So he is not a field laborer working in our personal garden. We have to be patient and wait. In the meantime, we should prepare ourselves by cultivating a service attitude and trying to eliminate extraneous desires. If we pray sincerely for the Lord's blessings, he will graciously bless us. Through his grace, we will find a bona fide spiritual master. This is the de facto process of finding a bona fide spiritual master. Does that satisfy your query, Prabhu?
So, let me say the key sentence in this, what you are sharing on the screen is, in the meantime.
Yes.
So one is we have to be patient and
yeah.
wait. That is fine. I understand. While we are waiting, how to engage ourselves. In the meantime, we should prepare ourselves by cultivating a service attitude and trying to eliminate extraneous desires. So that seems to point towards the processes of Vaidhi Bhakti.
Yes.
At least that's how it appears to me.
Yes. Because, it is very important to one day to the joy of attainment will be yours. But you'll have to go through that process to find that particular personality. But once you are able to find that personality, the personality will be in front of you. And then you will know that my Mahanta Guru, he didn't use the term Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru or anything like that. He used the term Mahanta Guru. Mahanta Guru means...
But when you said... Sorry.
Yeah, so he used the term Mahanta Guru. The Maha-anta. He who has the greatest, end result for us. That is the Mahanta Guru.
You said find. I kind of... there's nothing to find here. You sort of, in that sense, closed the door on the word find, because all you said is cry.
Yeah, cry. Because through his grace, we will find. That is what it is. Bhagavan will show clearly. This is the person. This is the person. Bhagavan will shout in the heart repeatedly. This is the person. And you will not have any doubt in your heart. Yes, this is the person. He is the one who was sent for me. That it is.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
I'm going to pass off the moderation now to Parama Karuna Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. I'm trying to see if there are any. So I think Bishwadeep Prabhu is next.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranams.
So my question is, so now as you have shown different verses from Ananda Vrindavan Champu and Gopal Champu, so from Harisuri's commentary, so we can relish when we see the Sanskrit verses, so it is so nectarious. So I'm just thinking about that learning Sanskrit is really a tapasya, and it takes a long time to learn it properly. So suppose those who have not learned Sanskrit and they are very much eager to read all these scriptures, what will be the condition of them? Because the translation do not give that exact sense of that bhav, what the author want to say, which the original language gives. So what their situation will be?
What their situation will be? Well, those, our previous acharyas especially were aware of this point, that somebody who does not know the languages of Shastra, so they also need to have an entry into some of these literature. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote a literature called Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Bindu, a drop from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. At the end of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Bindu, see what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes. He says, at the end he says, Anadhita Vyakaranas Charana Pravano Harer Jano Yasmat Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Binduto Bindu Rupena. For those who Anadhita Vyakarana, those who have not studied grammar, Charana Pravano Harer Jano Yasmat. But for those who are inclined to the lotus feet of Sri Hari, so for them I have written this Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Bindu, a drop of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So he is also emphasizing the importance of learning the original languages. Let's say somebody has not learned it or doesn't have the time to learn it. At least they can learn a simpler language such as Bengali, because Bengali has so many kirtans, so many padas, which have all the rasas within them. So there's a very nice compilation of Bengali padas called as Vaishnav Padavali. And I got this particular book scanned so that I could myself study Vaishnav Padavali. I'll show you a screenshot of Vaishnav Padavali. This is, you can find it on the archive page. This is Vaishnav Padavali. It has many, many songs, thousands of songs, almost 5,000-6,000 songs. And the songs are on different moods. For example, see, here is a song on Shri Krishna Rup, Tatha Rag. So we know the Shamera Rupa Hari Prana Kande, Nagari Mohan Chuda Bandhe Katha Chande. So like you read and you just directly relish. So at least one of the languages we should learn to speak. Then here is Abhisar. Sri Radha goes and meets Sri Krishna. Dhani Dhani Vani Abhisare. So Dhani is the name of Srimati Radharani, basically. So, at least one should learn to read one of the languages so that one gets a head start into the culture. We have to somehow enter into the culture that the acharyas have set for us. If it is not possible to learn any language, then at least hear from somebody who is, expert in the languages. Something we should do. That is the answer to your query.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to see if Bhavya Bhagwan Prabhu, did he already ask a question?
No.
Okay,
no.
Then we'll go to Bhavya
Bhagwan Prabhu, Radhakund Mataji, Divya Nitai Prabhu, and all first timers.
Okay, yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Param Karun Prabhu, for giving me a chance to ask a question. Hare Krishna, Hari Bhasa Prabhu. So my question might seem silly, but still I would ask. So it's a follow-up question to the answer you gave to Sudevi Mataji. So Prabhuji, my question is, if somebody is serving Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities, so will that devotee not attained Madhurya Ras in Goloka Vrindavan? And if somebody is serving Gaurnitai deities, so will they not be eligible to serve Radha Krishna in Madhurya Ras? Because like you mentioned, that particular devotee was serving Bal Gopal deities and he had developed for Vatsalya Ras Bhav, he had developed. So how do we really ascertain this thing, Prabhu?
The thing is, there are two separate aspects of this question. Somebody is worshipping Gaur Nitai, somebody is worshipping Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. Shri Gaur Nitai you worship as a sadhaka. You worship Shri Gaur Nitai as a sadhaka in your sadhaka body. And service of Sri Radha Krishna is not done in sadhaka's body. It is done through another body. So you can worship Gaur Nitai in the sadhaka body and Sri Radha Krishna in the body that you aspire for. So there is no incompatibility in that. In case you are worshipping Sri Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra, so we should know that Sri Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra, primarily the mood described for them is the mood of Dwaraka, because that is where these three were staying. But the previous acharyas have also, in some places depicted Sri Jagannath as Rasa Anando Radha Sarasa Vapura Lingana Sukho Jagannath Swami Nayanapati. So they have, described Sri Jagannath as being with Sri Radha. There are specific places like Kurukshetra where he was Jagannath. Baldev was, although on he had gone touring various holy places, but as Jagannath he was present in Kurukshetra, and Sri Radha was present there. So there are some moods of Jagannath Puri which are compatible with the message of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, but you will have to do some research in that direction. So that is the answer to
Thank you,
your question.
Prabhuji. Thank you. So, Prabhuji, if somebody has like Radha Krishna deities at home, so that is fine. But sometimes we hear that Gaur Nitai deities or Jagannath deities, they don't take so many offenses. So it is better to have Gaur Nitai or Jagannath deities rather than having Radha Krishna deities. So that is what is also told to devotees. So that's why they prefer having those deities rather than having Radha Krishna deities. But since we are aspiring for that Madhurya Ras, if we are, then
If
we
the
should have Radha Krishna, right?
motivating factor is fear, then forget about higher attainments. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the answer to
Okay,
your
Prabhu.
query. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shuddhan Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Radha Kund Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you so much for all your, guidance for all of us, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, my question is, thank you so much. I would like to thank Sachindra Krishna Prabhu and also Parama Karana Prabhu for asking such wonderful question, Prabhu. I was not able to form that nicely, how they formed and presented in front of you, Prabhu. So, my question is, I understand by your text what you have showed from that we have to cry and wait. Then I don't know how long we'll be on this earth, Prabhu, and mostly we are getting older, and how much time is left, on this earth for us to find such a Mahanta Guru. So my question is, Prabhu, and is there any praman that, I mean, this Mahanta Guru, does he need to be necessarily in the Sannyasashram, or we can find such Rasika Mahanta devotees even in the Gruhasthashram, Prabhuji? I mean, is there any particular guidelines on that, Prabhu?
Such a guru cannot be restricted in the system of Varna and Ashram. Because if we start keeping rules and regulations over such a guru, obviously such a guru mostly is a follower of Varnashram. He is situated in a particular Varna and a particular ashram. But there is no specifics mentioned in the Hari Bhakti Vilas or in any other literature. And if it would be so, Sri Rupa Goswami would have mentioned it in this verse itself. But Sri Rupa Goswami does not do that. So in the Upadeshamritam or in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu has much more space to write. But even there he does not say anything about the ashram or the varna of a particular guru. So that is the answer to your query.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay. Next, we will go to Divya Nitai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
My pranams.
Prabhuji, I have sent a verse number in the chat box also.
Okay.
This is regarding the how a sadhaka is acting as a Raganuga Bhakta in this word. It is written here that externally he acts all Vedi Bhakti parts, and internally he is acting on the Raganuga path. And so, Prabhuji, how we see this particular verses? And another question, like from Gopal Champu, we are quoting where the Krishna perform his Vrindavan pastime for 11 years, and then rest of the another pastimes, another leelas we see when he's going to the Sandipuniya ashram, yeah, even he's getting married and other things in this world, internally he is always remembering the Brajvasis, but externally in this world, he is performing all the Varnashram duties. So how Raganuga, the performer of Raganuga Bhakta, do they contradict the Vedic Bhakti and this Varnashram duties in this world?
These are the two separate questions. The first is you quoted CC Madhya 22:158 that an advanced devotee is inclined to spontaneous loving service should follow the activities of a particular associate of Krishna in Vrindavan. He should execute service externally as a regulative devotee as well as internally from his self-realized position. Your question is, how should one do that? If the question itself is how to do that, then it means you are asking for a guideline on how to do that. But the thing is, the answer to this cannot be given in a short lecture, because this is the entire process of bhajan. How to have two simultaneous identities. How to have two simultaneous identities. Some of it will be clarified in upcoming talks, because I'll be quoting from our previous acharyas and what recommendations they have given to execute two simultaneous services. But other than the general guidelines that have been given by the acharyas, you'll have to also like get the blessings of a Shiksha or Diksha Guru in order to go ahead with such a. They will have to test whether, they will have to ascertain whether that lobha is present or not. And you will also have to ascertain whether the lobha is present or not. Because before we can start rendering service externally or internally, the first factor is lobha. If the lobha itself is not present or not steady, then one should only render service externally through the sadhaka body. And if lobha is present, then only the guru will give specific directions. Now, this is something which everything cannot be written in a textbook. So this is highly customized, individualized, and therefore one should get some individual guidance from the guru in this regard. But in general, I will say that in the future talks, some detail will be given. As much general instructions as the acharyas have given, I will also try to do justice to what they have given. That is what I can say right now. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, we'll go to Tanvi Mataji.
Okay, I just want to go to Adi Bhagwan Prabhu. Is he still there?
Yes, he's there.
Yeah, let's unmute him.
Yes.
So Adi Bhagwan Prabhu, I have seen the verse and I have seen the commentary. The commentary says that the example is, the exact term used by Sri Jiva Goswami in the commentary is as follows. Sri Jiva Goswami says, Udharanaya kalpana matram. Just to give an example, this is a verse from the kalpana or from the imagination of the poet. So that is what he is saying. So what was the question?
Yeah, my question is, Prabhuji, that when
please be very specific, because please know that many devotees are listening. They should be able to understand your query.
Yes, my question specific is that feelings that Vatsalya Rasa devotee has of protection, how is it included in the Madhurya Rasa devotee? Because this example says that those two feelings together are not possible. They are inimical.
See, the thing is, the example I will share with you. The example, this is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This is the verse you were speaking about.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Chiram jiveti samyojya. Chiram jiva. Iti samyojya. Kachid ashir bhirachyutam. Kailashastha vilasena. Kamuki parishasvaje. So Chiram jiva iti samyojya. May you live forever, O Krishna. Kachid ashir bhir. Through these blessings, she gave to Achyuta. Who was she? Kailashastha, a lady from Kailasha. Suddenly, after giving these blessings, what did she do? Vilasena. In an amorous mood, romantic mood, Kamuki, she was a lady who was having such desires towards Krishna. Parishashvaje. In her mind, she embraced Krishna. That is what it is. So here, the main mood was Vatsalya. Chiram jiva iti samyujya kachid ashir bhirachyutam. She was giving benedictions to Krishna in the mood of a parent. may you live for long. Okay, and then suddenly her kama bhavana, her amorous desires also took over, and she embraced Sri Krishna. Now this is an example is kalpanik. Means this did not happen in reality. Just to give an example, Sri Rupa Goswami has written like that. But does it mean that, now let me give an example. When the gopis are in separation from Sri Krishna, and then the gopis are in Vrindavan and Sri Krishna is in Dwarka, don't they pray for the long life of Sri Krishna?
Yeah, they can pray, yes, Prabhuji.
Obviously. But they don't pray in the mood of a parent. Don't the gopis pray for protection of Sri Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But they don't pray. So that mood of protection of Krishna, the mood that Krishna should be protected, he should be well maintained, is there. But not as a parent. But the feeling of protecting Krishna, feeling of maintaining Krishna is there. Obviously.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, that's clear. Yes, Prabhuji.
Now your query is answered. Right?
Yes, reconciled, Prabhuji.
So in this example, the Shringar Ras is at crosses, is in opposite direction to Vatsalya Ras. Right?
Yes,
so the main rasa which he was experiencing was Vatsalya, but Shringar came and crossed it, went in the opposite direction.
Yes.
So this is an example of that. So I understood your query fully, and now I was able to answer. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
We have Tameshwar Prabhu.
Yes,
Tameshwar Prabhu, you want to regain control of the...
I just have a question at your lotus feet, Prabhuji. Suppose someone discovers our devotional scriptures and the first thing they encounter is these kind of sweet poems that you shared with us.
Yeah.
And their heart's touched by those poems. They think they're very sweet. But this person doesn't have any knowledge of the relationship with God, or it's very weak. They don't have this abundant gyan basis. Would such a person, would it be possible for them to have genuine lobha? Or would they be just kind of sentimentalist who's unqualified and needs to practice Vaidhi Bhakti first?
Okay, so the thing is, when sometimes a person, due to previous association or in previous lives, he may have had an association or he may not have had. When such a person sees those verses, accidentally comes in contact with such verses, there are two effects that can happen. First is absolutely no effect on the consciousness. Okay, not attracted by Rasika, which means there is no previous devotional piety. In that case, obviously, the only path is Vaidhi Bhakti. If they have previous impressions, then sometimes they can even start crying, even though they are new devotees. This is called Bhava Bhas. Bhava Bhas is a technical name used for it. The Abhas, the semblance of Bhav. So semblance of Bhav, but it arises, then it quickly goes away. And in order to have Sthayi Bhav, fixed Bhav, then they have to go through the practice of Raganuga Bhaktas. So that is the answer to your query. Sometimes it can happen, but it is called Bhava Abhas. The technical term used in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is Bhav Abhas. That it is a semblance of Bhav. Sometimes you see new devotees, they hear some katha, crying in the katha, oh my God, oh wow, it's like, and then you say, my goodness, so many years I couldn't cry. This new person is crying. Something is wrong with me or something's wrong with him. There's nothing wrong. You are following your correct path of bhakti. They are also experiencing bhava bhas. Often these new people, after crying in the lecture, then they go out and then they go back to their material life, and this, so it was bhava bhas. So, but to have sthai bhav, you'll have to follow that particular process. That I hope that satisfies your query.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. We'll go to Tanvi Mataji.
Yes, Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the second chance. So my question was, like you said that only Radharani, towards Radharani, we only have dasyam. But like supposedly, if any jiva develops Vatsalya Bhav for Krishna and he develops a body in the Goloka of an elderly gopi, so she will also have a Vatsalya Bhav for Radharani also. Like, so for Krishna it's Vatsalya and for Radharani it's dasya. So how is it possible?
No, Sri Rupa Goswami's recommendation, the highest rasa is Madhurya. And in Madhurya, when one has Madhurya, one is inclined in Madhurya rasa towards Sri Krishna, Sri Rupa Goswami's path is to have dasya towards Srimati Radharani. Obviously, if one has Vatsalya towards Sri Krishna, obviously they will also have, Vatsalya towards Srimati Radharani. But because they are elderly in age in the spiritual world, obviously. But that path is not described in such a great detail, in the literature of the six Goswamis. The path which is described is to have Madhurya Ras towards Sri Krishna and Dasya Bhav towards Srimati Radharani. So that is it. It's not that other rasas are forbidden or should not be taken, but that is not the main flow, main dhara, parampara dhara. The main flow of the parampara is Madhurya towards Sri Krishna, Dasya towards Srimati Radharani. That is what it is. See, there are other sampradayas also which have Sakhi Bhav. Sakhi Bhav means Sakhya towards Srimati Radharani. That is not within our sampradaya. So in our sampradaya, Dasya towards Srimati Radharani, Madhurya Ras towards Sri Krishna. So that is what I have specified. Other bhavas are there, but they may be in other sampradayas or maybe in other places in our sampradaya. The main dhara, main flow is what I have specified. So I hope that clarifies.
Yes, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, I'm sorry, but do we have a third round also?
Can have. We just need to wait. Right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll go back to Mohit Deshmukh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving the chance. Prabhuji, like my question is somewhat related to Param Karuna Prabhu's question and as well as Sachendra Krishna Prabhu's question. So by their answer, I am much satisfied, but then also I want to ask this question specifically that how can we know that the particular sadhu will give us guidance on Raganuga Bhakti? We can get some indication from Bhagavan by hearing their katha that okay, they are on the Rag Marg and they are feeling the Samrasa and the Rag attachment to the Krishna. But how can we know that they will be able to guide us on the path and they know how to do Raganuga Bhajan, Raganuga Bhakti. And if because before accepting Shri Guru, we have to test or we have to look that is he able to guide us on that path or not. And in general, when sadhu gives katha, there are many shrota, but everyone is not the adhikari of that bhakti. That's why maybe that sadhu is not revealing much about that thing. So how can we know that, and how can I find Rupanuga Vaishnava? I will have find. And
So
also,
once again, you are trying to put a condition or a formula for finding a guru. Why? My simple question is, why are you trying to put a formula for finding a bona fide guru? How will I know? What is more important, that you know the guru is bona fide or Krishna knows the guru is bona fide? Whose arrangement do you want? Your own arrangement or Krishna's arrangement? Right? So who should be the judge of that person? You should be or Krishna should be?
Krishna.
So then leave it to whom?
On Krishna. So that indication that he who will guide me in that, does
that
he know
that indication will also be given by whom? Don't have doubt. When it will happen, you will know without a doubt that this is the person. You will know that the person whom I was waiting for, whom I cried for, that person has finally arrived in my life. Finally, that person arrived in my life.
And also the seen to be seen and share, we are to be seen and they are share. That's why we can't by our own endeavor we can't.
We can't see a sad. Right.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll go to Madhav Tripathi Prabhu.
Sure.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, sometimes it may happen that a particular individual has developed a certain level of inclination towards Raganuga Bhajan or Ragmarg Bhajan. but still there are some inclinations left
The
towards
inclination towards Raga Marg Bhajan is a different thing. The true inclination is to fall in the mood of a Brajvasi. Somebody may say, I have an inclination to Raga Marg, which means I like theoretically, I like the concept of it. Wonderful. Doesn't mean that you're qualified for it. The qualification I have given in very clear words. All right. So if you're speaking about somebody who's qualified or somebody who would like to become qualified, whom are you speaking about?
Yes, Prabhuji. So like there is some lobha, but that lobha is not that intense. It is still like very.
How can you call it? How can you call it lobha? When it is lobh, kya? What is the meaning of lobh? How did I translate lobha?
Intense greed.
So then why are you removing the intense from it? There's a reason why I translated how I translated. You'll change my translation and then that will change the entire meaning. Eh? Then you'll say, no, feeble greed is also lobha. No, sir, no. All right.
So then we should, if that is the case, then the person should stick to Vedhi and wait for the time till the lobha is generated.
Yeah. Yes. Wait. Oh, please do not rush. Please do not rush. Please don't accept some substandard thing for lobha. Please do not rush. Please test it out thoroughly. All right.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll go to, let's see, Bhavya Bhagwan Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you so much for again giving me a chance, Prabhu. So, Prabhuji, like Mahaprabhu, he stayed a long time in Jagannath Puri, right? And although he was discussing with Ramanand Rai, Swarup Damodar Goswami about Radha Krishna Lila, but he was also having audience of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maharani, and he was having their darshan, and maybe he was Jagannath was his object of vision for sure. So how do we really understand Mahaprabhu's mood towards Jagannath? And I mean, I hope you got my question.
Wonderful. So this question was answered in great detail by my Shiksha Guru, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, in his writings, especially in his book Mathura Meets Vrindavan and other books. He has very clearly mentioned this, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially is a personality who has taken on the mood of Srimati Radharani. Love is fully nourished when it has a good combination of union and separation. Both things are possible in Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri is a container where there is union as well as separation. And there is union because on the Rath Yatra day, there is eye-to-eye union between Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken on the mood of Radha. There is eye-to-eye union between Sri Radha and Sri Krishna. There is also separation because he is always surrounded by his, entourage as a king. So there is union, there is separation, and all the flavors of union and separation are present in one compartment in Jagannath Puri. So in this way, it's a perfect container for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience all the shades of Prema that are present in Prema. And there is a reason why he chose that particular place. So this, in brief, this is the answer.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. We'll go to Divya Nitai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me a second chance. And Prabhuji, the second part of my question was this: does the practices of Raganuga Bhakta they contradicts the practices of Vaidhi Marga and the Varnashram duties?
Practice of Raganuga Bhakta contradict Vaidhi Marga and Varnashram duties.
Yeah.
Some in the Ragavartma Chandrika of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he has mentioned that there are some limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti which are not compatible with Raganuga Bhakti. Now he gives an example of that. For example, worship of Dwarka Shila is not compatible with Raganuga Bhakti. having branding of Shankha and Chakra on the, on arms. This is not compatible with Raganuga. Limbs of Dwarka worship are not compatible with Raganuga Bhakti, but they are a part of Vaidhi Bhakti. So previously, when devotees used to do when deity worship, they used to do Avaran Puja. Various deities on various sides of the central deity. So then there would be puja of Rukmini, other queens of Dwarka. All those things are a part of Vaidhi Bhakti. But they are not, once a devotee goes to Raganuga Bhakti, he gives up those limbs of Vaidhi, which are not favorable to his practice of Raganuga Bhakti. Varnashram, we are not against, we don't want to destroy Varnashram, right? But if Varnashram is, if any particular limb of Varnashram is going against the practice of Raganuga Bhakti, we neglect that limb. That is it. Nothing else. Okay. We are not against, we don't want to destroy Varnashram or something like that. So that is the short answer to your query. If you have some detailed query, maybe you can ask it in the group or something. Maybe there is some depth to what you want to ask, right? Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll go to Tanvi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhuji. So one of my questions was a follow-up of the answer you gave for Nalakuber and Manigriv, and like you said, the sweet will. But Prabhuji, what about like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I believe 9th adhyay, samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosna priyah ye bhajanti. So ye bhajanti. So Krishna says like this. So how should we understand that?
I didn't understand your query.
I was telling that that the sweet will of the Lord was that he uplifted Manigriv and Nalakuber without much bhajan. Like they got a Haituki kripa, and many devotees see such examples. But still in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Name dveshyosi napriyaha, like I am impartial totally, and ye bhajanti tu mam bhakti. So those who are devoted to me. So Haituki kripa and this line, how should we understand this? I hope it's relevant question.
Yeah, so the Bhagavad Gita verse is giving the general rule, and Bhagwan, being the autocrat, can make exceptions to his general rule. So that is what is going on here, nothing else. The Bhagavad Gita is not giving the exceptions. Bhagavad Gita gives the standard rule, and the transcendental autocrat can make an exception to his standard rule. That is what goes on in case of some devotees.
Yes,
right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to Rakhi Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this wonderful class. So I'm outside. Sorry for the disturbance if there are any. And the question is, Prabhu, it's a follow-up for Mohit Deshmukh Prabhu's question. Like, what if Krishna is bringing you a guru and you don't understand it? You think that you may get, you're still waiting for that guru, but Krishna is already bringing a guru who's trying to, who connects with you and everything, but you still don't know. You're confused. Is there a possibility that you miss the opportunity like that?
No, there's no possibility. Because a guru only comes to a person who is sincere. And Krishna says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, I will give you the required intelligence when the guru is present. So Krishna will give that intelligence, and if Krishna has not given us that intelligence, it means we are not ready till this point of time.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, let's see. Omkar Prabhu, please proceed.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question would be more like for the last session, but like in some sampradayas which worship Sri Ram as a supreme deity, they say that one can have parakiya ras with Lord Ram, and they cite some verses out Chitrakoot and other places have such like Leela Sthalis which are suitable for having such Madhurya ras or etc. with Lord Ram. So there also the point what Gaudiya Vaishnava state is like Bhagavatam or Shastra do not speak about this kind of rasa with Lord Ram. But then this point can be raised that a person who is experiencing such a rasa with Lord Ram, so he'll say that it is a point of ras. You can't exactly bring it to the point of scriptures. So this is my question, because this would also tend to the point that is Raga Bhakti possible for the other forms of the Lord?
So the thing is, Shri Ram, Bhagwan has unlimited forms and unlimited aspects. But there is one specific thing about Sri Krishna that he clearly excels in terms of rasa. Rasen utkrishyate Krishna. Esha eva rasasthiti. Now, if we say Shri Ram also has all of that, all right. But then it's like saying Shri Krishna is also Maryada Purushottam. We know Shri Krishna, we don't say that Shri Krishna is Maryada Purushottam because we know Shri Krishna on certain occasions went against popularly accepted Maryada. So similarly, Shri Ram is Maryada Purushottam. Now, if Shri Ram breaks the Maryada of having one wife, then how will he be called as Maryada Purushottam? Right? The same Sampradaya, which says that Shri Ram is Maryada Purushottam, if they say that, Shri Ram has also experiences Madhurya Ras, and especially with various wives, then it is in contradiction to the claim that Shri Ram is Maryada Purushottam. So therefore, it is important to understand there was a book written on this entire topic, and I will show you the name of the book. It was written in Hindi, and this book was called Ram Bhakti Sahitya Mein Madhur Upasana. So Madhurya Ras in Ram Bhakti culture. In this, and there was also another book on this also. This is one of the books. But in these books, it is clearly mentioned that much of the inspiration came from Sri Krishna Upasana. Much of the inspiration for this came from Sri Krishna's worship as done by the previous acharyas. So, if there was scope for Sri Ram in this direction, Sri Rupa Goswami would certainly not have hesitated to write about it. But since there was no scope in this direction, therefore Sri Rupa Goswami did not write about it. And therefore, somebody may want to worship Sri Ram. Rupa Goswami says the sages as Dandakaranya wanted to worship Sri Ram in this mood. Omkar Prabhu, you know what Sri Ram said to them. What did he say to them?
Yes, true. He said that it is not possible in this form.
So that is a quote from the Puranas, right?
Yes, true.
Obviously.
But
So
then
even
again, the point would be there that they'll say that our Rasika Acharyas, you
Sure,
might know
why
that
not?
they quote from
Oh,
Acharyas.
sure. So the sages at Dandakaranya were also Rasikas. It's not that they were not Rasikas. Finally, it is up to the position of Sri Ram whether he wants to accept, certain individuals in certain rasas or not. So he said to the sages at Dandakaranya that, I'm sorry, it is not possible. Otherwise, he would have said, yes, it is possible. Why not? Here is my secret chamber, where this rasa is possible. Obviously, no. It's not like that. So it cannot happen without denying the Puranas. You have to deny the Puranic evidence that the sages at Dandakaranya had the experience with Lord Ram of not being accepted in that immediate incarnation. What do you think?
Yes, true. One pramana which is quoted, I think it's from Narad Pancharatra. I will sometime again send you that.
Sure,
In
you
the
can
group
send
or in person. Yes, true. Thank you, Prabhu.
My pranams.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll go to Deepayan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. My question. Thank you for this wonderful class. And my question is related to what Omkar Prabhu just asked. I read an article, and it's an article, so I don't really know all the references and all. But it seems that in some of the biographies of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which like apart from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, some of the associates of Mahaprabhu have expressed some some other rasas towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like maybe Madhurya Bhava or something. And I know from our acharyas that they are not, they said it's not, we are not going to follow that. So could you say something about this? I mean, because they are also like Pārṣadas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how to understand?
Sure. So there may be associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who may have said that, you know, we should have other rasas with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu other than Dasya. So my question is, what is the direction that Sri Rupa Goswami is pointing? The person who understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart, which direction is he pointing us in?
Yeah, he is not telling us to follow that. He is telling us to be a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes.
Wonderful. In all his literature, when he gives obeisances to Mahaprabhu, which mood is Sri Rupa Goswami expressing towards Mahaprabhu?
Dasyaras.
That's it. You wish to be a Rupanuga, or you wish to follow some other Gaudiya Vaishnava? The choice is yours, huh? No pressure. Without any peer pressure, please give an answer.
Yeah. No, just so I was just asking like how to understand that.
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking a question. Without any peer pressure.
I'm not going to follow that. I'm not going to follow
Which
that.
Gaudiya Vaishnava do you wish
follow
to
what our Acharya does?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you
Srila
Rupanuga,
Prabhupada,
right?
Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. This line. Yes.
Right, sure. So you wish to be a Rupanuga, right?
Yes.
So you should follow Sri Rupa Goswami's mindset in relation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is what it is. Because there are many mindsets like these, different mindsets. All the Gaudiya Vaishnavas got together at the festival in Kheturi when Narottam Das Thakur and etc. were there. And they all came to the unanimous decision that the path shown by the 6 Goswamis is the standard path of bhakti that is approved by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is mentioned in the Narottam Vilas biography, and the festival at Kheturi is also mentioned there.
Yes. And we don't show any like disrespect to
we
others.
Don't show any disrespect towards anybody, but if there is some weird feelings that somebody is having for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we keep away from that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Shriram Patra Prabhu has raised his hand, but he also direct messaged me. So are you able to ask your question, Shriram Patra Prabhu, or should I, or is it the same question that you sent me and I can try asking that? Looks like he's not able to unmute. So his question that he sent to me, okay, he's saying, please ask. Our Parampara Acharyas are all Manjaris, and thus they are in Radha Dasya Rasa or Radha Dasya Bhava. How do they see Krishna, and should we aspire for the same?
The thing is, you're asking queries, the answers to which are reserved in the 9th, 10th, and 11th verse. So please leave something for the 3 verses. So this query will be answered to in some level of detail in 9th, 10th, and 11th verses. Otherwise, I'll have nothing to speak about in those 3 verses. So, Shriram Patra Prabhu, I hope you will stick around till those verses, and I'll definitely try to answer. If I don't answer, please remind me by asking this question again at that point of time. All right?
He's saying yes, thank you. All right, we have Krishnantika Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, maybe my question is very, very silly, so apologies for that. But as we hear, one trying to focus on Krishna's form of the Lord, their aspiration is Golok, or one worshipping Shri Ramji, they may attain Saket or Vaikuntha. So just trying to understand, there are so many Ramanandis staying in Vrindavan, not saying they should not, who am I? I am not even a devotee, but just trying to understand how about Ananyata towards Ramji and Ayodhya Dham?
It's beautiful if they have one pointedness towards Sri Ram, towards Sri Ayodhya Dham. It's so nice that there are so many dedicated devotees of Sri Ram staying in Sri Vrindavan. Wonderful, let them stay here. No problem at all. But they also acknowledge the fact that Sri Vrindavan is Krida Sthali, the pastime place of Sri Krishna. They like the environment of Sri Vrindavan, so they stay here. Wonderful, they're welcome to stay. All varieties of sadhus, including anybody who wants dharma, artha, kama, moksha, they are also welcome to come to Sri Vrindavan, as long as they are maintaining the sanctity of Sri Vrindavan. They can come here, they can perform their bhajan. Even a Brahmavadi can come to Sri Vrindavan with the hope that they will get attracted to Sri Krishna. No problem. So wonderful. But their attainment will be according to the process and the deity that they have selected as their Ishta Devata. So if they have selected Sri Ram as their Ishta Devata, then Sri Ram will be their attainment. And this also brings back to the question that Omkar Prabhu had asked. But Mataji, I hope I have answered your query. Let's try ask her to unmute. Yes, all right. Okay. So this brings me back to Omkar Prabhu's query. Omkar Prabhu, is he there? Let's try to unmute him. Is he there?
Yes, I've requested it.
So Omkar
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
yeah. So
Yes,
your
sure.
query was about Madhurya Ras in Ramanandi Sampradaya. So my question is, the central figure accepted by the Ramanandi Sampradaya is Sri Tulsidas Ji.
Yes.
Has he ever mentioned any such rasa? Sri Tulsidas Ji is to the Ramanandi Sampradaya what Sri Rupa Goswami is to our Sampradaya. So has Sri Tulsidas Ji in any of his writings expressed a mood of Madhurya Bhav towards Bhagwan Ram?
No. There's actually a recent Acharya named Agadeva Acharya who.
So some other devotee might have done that, but the central Acharya, the main Acharya of the Sampradaya, who sets the mood of the Sampradaya is Sri Tulsidas Ji for the Ramanandi Sampradaya. If he has not given any such mood, then that mood is not present in the main flow of the Sampradaya. So I hope that answers your query.
Yes, true. But just the point is like when a sadhaka is following such a ras, which sometimes seems like no mention or. So what will be the ultimate destination of such a sadhaka?
If they are sincere, they will have the same destination as the Dandakaranya sadhus.
Okay. Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Dandakaranya.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll go to Mohit Deshmukh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
No problem.
So maybe this question will be answered in next classes, but let me ask now. If you wish, you can answer it. Like, what does it actually means to follow in the footsteps of Raganuga Bhaktas? I have asked many Vaishnavas this question, but I'm not like at all satisfied with their answers, and also able to understand that they don't have much clarity on that topic. And one of the Vaishnavas quoted some verse from one verse from Chaitanya as well as Bhakti Rasamrita, which is actually from Bhakti Rasamrita, that is Seva Sadhaka Rupena Siddha Rupena Chitrahi Tad Bhavali Suna Karya Vraja Lokansa. But here also it is not specifically mentioned that what is actually being to follow in the footsteps of Raganuga Bhaktas or Vrajavasis.
The verse you are looking for is Krishnam Smaran Janam Chasya. Have you heard that verse?
Yes, like I have heard that verse sometimes. Krishna,
So I will show you that verse. This is 1.2.294 Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I'll share the verse with you. Krishnam Smaran, while remembering Krishna. Smaran is Shatru Pratyay, continuous present tense. Krishnam Smaran, while remembering Krishna. Janam Cha Asya, and while remembering the associates of Krishna. Which associates of Krishna? Preshtham, who are dear to oneself. Nija samihitam, and whose mode is one aspires for. Tat tat katha ratascha. Be absorbed in tat tat katha. Tat, first tat is Krishna katha. Second tat is Vrajavasi katha. Tat tat katha ratascha. So stay absorbed in the kathas of Sri Krishna in this mood and Vrajavasi in this mood. Chaso kuryat vasam. Then one should reside. Vraje sada. Always in Vraja. These are the activities. We'll come to that. Your question was, what should one do? This is answered in this way. Okay, this is the verse you were looking for. The commentary, Sri Jiva Goswami says, Atha Raganugaya Paripatim. So the sequence of events, to sequence of activities to be followed in Raganuga Bhakti. They have been spoken in this verse. So therefore, Sri Jiva Goswami confirms that this is the answer to the query that you were looking for. He says, Samarthya Sati, if you have the strength, capability. Vraje, what does Vraja mean? Shriman Nanda Vrajavasasthane. The Vraja where Nanda Maharaj stayed. Because somebody may create a replica of Vrindavan and say, this is Vrindavan. No. The Vrindavan where Nanda Maharaj stayed 5,000 years ago. Shri Vrindavanado Sharirena Vasam Kurya. Stay with your body there. With your sadhaka body there. Tad abhave. But if you don't have the capability, Samarthyan Asati, if you don't have the capability, Manasa api, stay in Bhava Vrindavan. Iti artha. This is the meaning. That's the answer to your query.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
I hope I didn't leave you dissatisfied.
Not at all.
Okay, we'll go to Rakhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. One question about this verse, like the Gobi Bhatra Pada Kamala Yo Dasa 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 Anudasa. So Prabhu, in that verse, what is the rasa that is implied here? Is it Madhurya or is it like Dasya?
No, it's Gopi Bhartu. Na? The Bharta of Gopi is Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna, servant of servant of servant. The Dasya is being emphasized there because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to emphasize rising above Varnashram and becoming servant of Sri Krishna. So the emphasis in that verse is to rise above Varnashram. That's all. The emphasis is not on his internal mood. In his internal mood, you can see in the final verses of Shikshashtakam.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay, and we have Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu back.
Dandavats Prabhuji. So, if a devotional poet is writing about some pastimes like you shared today of Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta, we don't reject it just because it's not mentioned in the Shastra.
Right.
And at the same time, we don't just accept any idea.
Yeah.
Like this class just today, people have brought up ideas like, well, can we have, a certain rasa towards Radharani or Mahaprabhu or different Ramachandra? Can I be a, Madhurya Sakhi of Ramachandra? So I'm kind of reading between the lines of how do we determine whether some rasika idea or sentiment is bona fide or not?
Yeah. So the yardstick of what is rasik and what is not rasik is Sri Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This is the yardstick. If any sentiment by any devotional poet who is a confirmed devotee, who is belonging to a Vaishnava Sampradaya, is compatible when tested against the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, then it is acceptable for us. And if it is not compatible with Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, we respect it, but we may not accept it. So the yardstick for determining what is proper rasa and what is not proper rasa, which rasas are unfavorable to each other, which rasas are favorable to each other, that is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. That's the manual. Having studied the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu and having made Sri Rupa Goswami as the standard guideline for understanding of Bhakti Rasa Tattva, then all other authors are acceptable as long as they are compatible with the thoughts given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is a safe path that I am giving. This is a safe path that I have, I am giving. Although there are emotions outside the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There are emotions outside the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Not all the emotions have been covered. Some emotions may be there which may be bona fide, but Sri Rupa Goswami may not have covered them in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But our standard guideline for the widest variety of emotions is the Bhakti Rasamrita. And anything which is compatible with that. Like I quoted today, Sri Hari Suri. Now, what is he doing? He is giving a justification that Krishna did not steal. from a friend's point of view, he's giving a just. When you heard that, did you feel that anything, the justification that he gave felt anyway in contradiction to the mood of Sakhya Ras that we have heard till now?
No.
So you didn't feel anything off the mark, short and sweet.
Right, I didn't.
So when you don't feel anything off the mark, you can, take the realizations of a particular poet. And Sri Rupa Goswami did that in his Padyavali. Padyavali is a collection of so many poets from so many sampradayas, but they are in alignment with the mood of Sri Rupa Goswami. So that is what we can do. And if somebody wants to be extra careful, then take only the Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas and don't go outside the sampradaya. So if you want to be extra careful about that. But if you know Rasa Tattva personally, if you're confident that you can, see the poetries of other poets and make a judgment about whether this rasa is compatible or not, then you can venture out. Otherwise, to be safe, stay within the 6 Goswamis, or within Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, or within the 6 Goswamis. That is the safest path to take. Perfection guaranteed. No. Right.
And suppose, Prabhuji, someone didn't accept or put, maybe not accept, someone didn't put as much prominence on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu for determining whether something's bona fide or not. And we wanted to debate that person about whether a particular sentiment is bona fide or not. Would the main thing we look at is whether it's in contradiction with the Lila itself? For example, in Ramachandra, he had pastimes, he had one wife, so it would be in contradiction to say you could be a Madhurya Rasa. We can make that argument without referring to the book.
Yes, so obviously, because Sri Ram's primary mood, is not of somebody who is Nagar. Nagar means an enjoyer of multiple women. So before the rasa section begins in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami gives a detailed list of characteristics of Sri Krishna. There are, 64 qualities of Sri Krishna are mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So the reason for doing that is to introduce the personality of Sri Krishna. Now somebody will have to do a detailed analysis of Sri Ram's personality, and then we'll have to see whether this mood is compatible with that personality. And obviously the conclusion will be that it is not compatible. Therefore, the main Acharya of the Sampradaya of Sri Ram, of the Ramanandi Sampradaya, Sri Tulsidas, has not included these moods in his Ramcharitmanas and other compositions.
So then a more mature type of faith would be to understand the thought process of Rupa Goswami and be able to argue on that basis rather than just say, well, Rupa Goswami says.
Yeah, to understand the spirit of the law of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, not only the letter of the law.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. And I think that's all our questions and answers. Unless Ranga has a question.
There are a few things on the chat. Do we want to cover those?
Okay. Let's see.
I have marked the ones that are not covered. Do you?
There is a English Padyavali in English. That's one of the questions. So this is from Ras Bilal and Sons. There might be another one.
This translation was published by Kushakrat Prabhu. This is the translator is Kushakrat Prabhu. Kushakrat Prabhu always wanted his books to remain free for the entire world. That they should not be, he wanted all devotees to have access to his books for free. these are good books, but sometimes you should check the translation with comparing it with other editions. So he was a very very dedicated translator of the Goswami's literature. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, or do you want me to?
Some of the questions have been asked before in a different form. Like we've had this question many times about like, well, if you don't get to see your guru so much, then what should you do? We've had that question many times. So
I think all the questions were answered. I don't see
Yeah.
any. I don't see anything.
Yeah, so that
I think all the questions are answered.
There was one question, Prabhuji, that I had brought up. Maybe you can correct me. I read somewhere, or in some commentary or some verse, or maybe in a class, that Prahlad Maharaj is considered to be a devotee in the Shantarasa.
Prahlad or Parikshit?
Prahlad Maharaj.
No, how can Prahlad Maharaj be in Shantarasa? Prahlad Maharaj is not in Shantaras. Prahlad Maharaj obviously is in Dasyaras. Prahlad Maharaj is in Dasyaras. He is not in Shantaras. There is no indication that Prahlad Maharaj is. Shanta is somebody who is attracted to the impersonal Brahman or Paramatma. But Prahlad Maharaj has no inclinations. In fact, there are verses in Prahlad Maharaj's realization which speak against impersonal Brahman realization. He cannot be a devotee of Shantaras. That is the answer to the question.
So Shantaras is kind of, I wouldn't say synonymous, but has an overlap with impersonal Brahman.
Shantaras is for those who are Brahmavadi and Paramatmavadi. That is what it is.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dipayan Prabhu has raised his hand. Do we want to take one last question?
Yeah. Dipayan Prabhu, is a quick question. What do you?
It's not a question. I think what Param Karuna Prabhu is referring, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there is a section where, while describing the different rasas, Prahlad Maharaj is described, and then he tells that I'm not the highest. Actually, Hanumanji or somebody, he did so much service. I could never do any service. I was just remembering Krishna. So I think that's what Param Karuna Prabhu is referring. I think I'm please correct
Yes, so
me if I'm wrong.
Dipayan Prabhu, is Prahlad Maharaj described as a Shanta Bhakta? I would be surprised if that is the case.
I haven't read Brihad Bhagavatamrita.
Nava Yogendras are Shanta Bhaktas. Nava Yogendras are example of Shanta Bhaktas. They are attracted to Paramatma realization. Prahlad Maharaj is not. Right.
Yes, Prabhuji, very clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paramahansa, for taking over while I'm watching the baby. Thank you, Hari Prasad Prabhu, for another wonderful class and Q&A session. These classes are so wonderful. I'm understanding these topics way better than I ever have before. Even though I've heard some of these verses years back, you're making me able to understand it in just a fresh new way that's so enlivening. So thank you so much. I'll invite all the devotees to unmute. Give a big thank you to Hari Prasad Prabhu.
Hari Prasad Prabhu ki jai.
Jai Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Mahant
Thank you.
Mahant Guru ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Jai. Thank you so much.
Hari Prasad Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much for wonderful class. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for giving us the proper understanding of Rupanuga Dhara. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
True follower of Srila Rupa Goswami.
Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu.
Hare Prasad. Hare Krishna.
Thank you again, Prabhuji. I know you've been very busy lately, so it's very generous of you to continue our classes.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
We had a wonderful number 43. Everyone. Hare Krishna, take care. Please accept my best wishes to everyone. Thank you.